Hey, John.
Like it. Rena says it sounds like someone playing drum through a potato.
We're live.
We are live, and don't forget to subscribe.
That was Nightbot on drums.
Nightbot. Hey, not bad for a bot, you know?
Yeah.
I thought the track sounded good, man.
Thank you, man.
That's not a potato.
Yeah. Where is Nightbot?
He keeps getting hidden. No, somebody keeps getting hidden. What's that? Football legends. Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Well, we are live, and welcome, everyone.
We are live. We're waiting for Neanderthal. He went to go get a couple more Pepsis.
Kind of a slow intro, slow opening, you know? We'll just ease into it tonight.
Mm-hmm. Here, we'll do this. You ready?
No.
No?
Because I know you're going to.
All right, there we are.
Oh, good. I don't know if you're going to start with just me. Hey, Johnny, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, guys. Very good, man. Very good. And before we forget, make sure to subscribe.
That's right.
Thumbs up. Stream Elements is here. Okay, that means Nightbot should be here. Okay.
And now Paul's here. It's
good,
all good.
So yeah, subscribe, click the bell. Very important these days. Click that bell. Very, very, very important. And we're live. And we're live.
Am I live?
We're live.
I'm late.
Yeah.
Hey, did he get his Pepsi? Yes, Robin. He got his Pepsi. That was the most important thing before we got started. He had to get his Pepsi.
I'm not, you know what? Screw that. I'm not sponsored.
I know.
I gotta go.
Hello,
Yeah,
Dwight Bailey.
All I wanted was a Pepsi.
That's all I wanted. Yeah, I know. All we wanted was a Pepsi.
I think that was a commercial.
No.
It wasn't?
No,
Wasn't it?
Suicidal tendencies.
Oh.
George Costanza. He wanted to bring Pepsi and ring dings to the dinner party. You know, they were out buying wine and fancy cake and all that. And then George was like, just bring Pepsi and ring dings.
I love the fact that you reference them as ring dings. That's such a New England thing because everywhere outside of New
what
England,
are they called?
They're ding dongs.
Oh, ding dongs. Ring dings sound better.
It's the same thing.
Ring ding.
Yeah, but what's it say on the box?
No, they're two different. They're two different. They're the same thing. It's like Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
And Hardee's.
Yeah, depending on what part of the country it is, they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. There you are, Nightbot. There you are. Awesome. And this is also a podcast. So you guys can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, CastBox, Google Podcasts, mytuner-radio.com, iHeartRadio. Please return my emails. It's been 8 months.
No, that's not the right one.
Oh, yeah, and jump into the Discord, you guys.
Ding.
And as usual, we start doing the show, and the dogs are like, "Hey, how about I get some attention?" And he will.
They're
like,
just as much a part of the show as you and me and Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the best part of the show. I mean, we don't bring anything.
That's right.
Everybody loves dogs.
Yeah.
Very true.
And cats.
Yeah, I mean, just to get out today, I took a drive and everybody was out with their dogs. Everybody's out walking their dogs. A lot of people out, you know, just it's nice to, you know, people are, I guess.
Were they keeping their distance though?
Yeah. You know, I didn't go anywhere myself. I just went out for a drive just because I was getting cabin fever, you know, man.
Mm-hmm. So. Even cars are keeping their distance.
Yeah.
It is. I will tell you, I did get. I got the evil eye from a woman at the grocery store. She was standing around like it was like one of those center stanchions where all the eggs are kept. And I don't know if she was looking for a specific egg. She wasn't doing anything. She was just sort of standing there. I don't know, counting nose hairs or whatever it was. And I'm standing behind her and I'm trying to keep my distance. And I'm like, okay, all right. Screw you, lady. I just want a dozen eggs. Yeah. And I just reached in to grab them. And you would have thought I was standing behind her at the ATM trying to look at her PIN number.
Yeah.
She was pissed.
Yeah, it's, you know, I was watching a movie the other day. I'm watching it and I'm like, you know, even noticing like when people in movies are getting together now, it's like, oh, you shouldn't. It's like you almost get nervous when you're seeing that now. So it's like
my favorite.
It's starting to be like an instinct now. Everybody's, you know, watch out. You know. In any case.
Like watching the Today Show or the news, the CBS Morning News. and they've got the anchors on both ends of the desks and the big monitor between.
really?
It's like watching 1970s Eyewitness News. Yeah. Remember when they used to put them on both ends of the thing, and then they put the camera in the middle there, so they could put the big graphic up for whatever it was.
Well, funny enough, that's what I was watching Anchorman 2, the Will Ferrell movie. So it ties it right in.
Oh, that movie's hilarious.
Great. The Anchorman movie.
I liked it when it was called Anchorman.
Yeah, the first one's better, definitely.
I haven't.
My friend's in the first one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's one of the thugs, and I forget which. He might be PBS. I think he's on Vince Vaughn's crew.
What was it? San Diego, I think, is where the movie.
Yeah, but he's producer for a station I worked in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
That's his claim to fame, is he was one of the thugs in the fight scene in Anchorman. That was when he went to Hollywood to be a star, and that's all I got out of it. Now he's back in Kansas City producing a morning show.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Hey, he's in Anchorman and I'm not, so who cares?
There you go. Exactly. Classic movie.
Quentin. Hey. Quentin James. Can I get you guys to say hello to my new little bird, Emmett?
You have a bird?
ZVH and your channel too.
Emmett.
Welcome. Hey, Emmett.
Everybody,
say hello to Emmett.
Hi, Emmett.
Is it a parrot or a parakeet?
By the way, here's my my obligatory Van Halen nerd moment for the night. Got the Van Halen playing cards.
Oh, cool.
That they sold on tour way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Is that from the Different Kind of Truth tour?
I think it's the 07 tour. I don't remember.
With that John Biel.
I couldn't see. I couldn't really get a good look at it, so I didn't know what it looked like. Is it the one with the?
It's the first tour. It's
the 07. It's the 07 tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one with Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pinup girl, right?
Basically. Yeah, there's your obligatory Van Halen content for tonight. There.
We're back.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, I just talked for 3.5 hours with Rob Johnson about Van Halen and stuff. So.
Oh, I know. He was showing you. I saw he was showing you the picture book from 04 and all this stuff that he was like, you know, there's a level of fandom that there's like, it's like the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
And we're all on it somewhere.
They're awesome pictures.
Well, when you start digging into the 04 tour, those are some of the, sadder moments that, a lot of people, it was on one of those websites when the headline is a Van Halen headline, but the picture they show is Ed kind of with his shirt off and really skinny and playing from the 04 tour. So it's not the best, picture to pull out of the archive, I'd say. But.
No. And he still looked like shit in 07 too.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know the story. So, yeah, I mean, I hate it when that's like the premiere Van Halen picture, of Ed looking like crap, but it's all good, Nowadays, he's hopefully he's looking better. So,
well, I saw there was a picture that came out that, or maybe it been distributed of him. That's supposed to be the first one since it's been confirmed that he was doing his cancer treatment. Blah blah blah. And he looks like a 64, 65-year-old guy with gray hair, and it's thinning and. He's with Janie, and you wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know he had cancer, you wouldn't know he had cancer.
Yeah, I think the most recent images we've had are from like January, maybe, Christmas holiday time, and then maybe after his birthday. I think someone maybe posted a picture of him on his birthday, or he posted a picture on his birthday. But yeah, Ed, we hope you're doing well.
Yeah,
let's hear from you, and hopefully staying indoors and staying. Maybe in the studio and recording some stuff for us.
Now, people in the chat, I will assume some of them are under actually shelter-in-place orders, and some of them are in free states.
I'm in the shelter-in-place.
Yeah,
I'm in a free state.
I don't think it's shelter-in-place here. I think it's more or less just all necessary business. I mean, because places are still open. I mean, McDonald's is still open for crying out loud. So, well, McDonald's closed, we know we're really in trouble.
Out here, all that stuff's closed.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, a lot of places have closed.
Actually, no, Taco Bell was open. I noticed.
The governor of Arizona put out a list of essential personnel, and pretty much everything that you can do is essential personnel here. Yeah. It's like a way to circumvent whatever federal order may come, because Arizona is notoriously FU to the government. It's really weird. It's a weird place. I love Arizona. It's big and it's beautiful and it's cheap to live here. But there is a real sort of middle finger to the federal government that happens here. We're buddies of mine are all predicting that this will be one of the first states that revolts when it comes to the shelter in place or the quarantine orders. They'll be like, the feds aren't going to tell us what to do.
Right.
So the essential personnel list pretty much contains everybody.
Well, what was it? I think it was Colorado or something. They closed the liquor stores for one day, and then because of people outrage, people were, you got to keep the liquor stores open. I mean, in a time like this, so that lasted a day. They closed the liquor stores, and I think the pot stores in Colorado. This was the story from Colorado. They closed that, and within 24 hours, it had to be reopened because people just outraged.
Ben Rossum's like, Arizona, crazy gun laws. What gun laws? We can pretty much do anything.
Oh, that's like New Hampshire. There's no gun laws in New Hampshire.
Carry a gun concealed here with no license.
You don't even. Yeah, I mean, you can carry a gun out in the open in New Hampshire, I think.
Yeah. Wrong, Hal Face.
You can't carry anything concealed, so
you can carry concealed here without a permit.
Really?
Yeah. Hal Face. Average age in Arizona 65. Wrong. It's like mid-30s. We do have a lot of old people in the West Valley and places like Sun City and stuff like that. But if you go to Sun City, which is the west part of the Phoenix metro, you'll see people driving around in golf carts. It's awesome.
That's a retirement area.
Yeah, so they do that. But no, we've got, the average age here is like 32, 33. And it's more women's than men, said the guy who's alone every Saturday night.
And the cost of living is comparatively cheaper, isn't it? Cost of living?
Oh, it's really cheap here. Yeah, you can get everything you can get in Southern California here in Arizona for about 40% of the cost.
New England, New England comparatively too. Because New England's so very expensive.
I'm in a 1,700 square foot house, 4 bedrooms with an 8-foot pool and a 2-car garage, and I'm paying less than $1,500 a month in rent.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for any area, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, that's how cheap it is. And I'm in a suburb of Phoenix that's like right next to Mesa. So, I mean, Mesa, there's 600,000 people in Mesa. It's the biggest city in the Phoenix metro outside of Phoenix proper. So it's not like I live out in the sticks. And I'm in a very heavily populated area. The rent here is ridiculously cheap. Now, on the other hand, they have a sliding scale for electricity. In the wintertime, your electric bill can be like $60 a month. In the summertime, it can be $400 a month. So
yeah. AC costs a lot.
Yeah, Arizona's beautiful. It's everything you get in Southern California with none of the expense.
Thank you, Jay.
Fuck off, Jay.
Guys are killing me, man. I was waiting for the time to jump in, and I'm like,
Jay, you do that every week. That's Jay's intro every week.
It's not so bad. We got 80. What's 80? What's going down?
oh,
go away, Jay.
Well, if I leave, we'll go back up. No, it was at 60 something when I jumped in. 60.
It was at 84. Now it's at 80.
Well, I'm seeing 72.
82. I see 82.
Let's just keep calling out the numbers all night.
I don't know, man. The internet.
Yeah, that's more exciting than what we were talking about.
Well, I was gonna jump in, then I heard Corona talk, and I'm like, oh God, no.
That's
not necessarily. Nah. From Tony, no, we're not doing the radio show from home. I'm doing it from the studio. We're still in the studio, but they have quarantined the building, and essentially,
I know.
12
I think the local WHEB, the Greg. I'm sure you know Greg. Morning Buzz. They're doing they're all separate. There's 4 or 5 of them from their own homes.
Mark and I we go in. Our studio is separate from the 3 other radio stations in the building, so we all go in through one main area. Although one of the guys from one of the other morning shows, I think, was exposed and is doing his part of his show from home in self-quarantine.
As long as
the other guys are
aware, keeping aware of who you've been exposed to, and if you're,
keep your notepad out.
That's right.
The whole thing is weird, but we'll get through it.
Speaking of doing your show from home, has anybody watched any of the Howard Stern clips of him doing his show from home? I was cracking up because I'm watching it, and they have, it's almost like this, like the 4 screens or whatever.
Yeah.
And Howard is like up in the in the camera, and everyone else is normal. So I guess what happened, because I didn't read like the story behind it, like why was he so close. I guess he thought that the microphone was in the camera as well, so he was like up in it the whole time with his nose right there, you know.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Some of us, have the microphone in the camera. Not
Yeah,
everybody.
but what I'm saying
Not
is he
everybody
didn't
has a
realize
mic
he
set
didn't
up.
have to like talk into it like he does with a normal, microphone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You get used to that. I've been doing this for what 5 years now with this thing, and without it, it doesn't feel right. Like I have to like have it right there, even if it's not even on. I mean, of course it is.
Well, I
know.
think we're using the same mic. I mean, can you hear me okay from
Are we?
2.5 foot? I have a 58.
You do?
I think you have a 58. Yeah.
I can't see it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I realized last
who's
week
the big
that
one?
my
Pull
levels
out
were
our
terrible.
Donikers.
I didn't
Yeah,
know you
I
had that. Why do you have it all the way down like that? How come you're not?
when I talk right up
I know. How come you're not right on it?
Because it sounds okay if I'm a little away from it, right?
Sounds fine.
Okay.
Sounds fine.
I'd rather not.
When I do the podcast, you can really tell.
I mean, I can.
We're not
yeah, I mean,
recording an album.
if I was gonna be up close like you were, I'd obviously turn the gain down. But
We're not recording an album. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's true.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Jeff. Oh, you guys over on Facebook? Oh yeah, we didn't do a roll call.
Well, thank God it's Saturday. I don't do them on Saturdays. That's my.
that's your day off.
Well, but hey, before we do a roll call, can I? Unless you guys covered this, but I didn't see the first 8 minutes or something of the show, 5 minutes.
It was
but
awesome.
I bet it was, and now I just brought the whole thing down.
Yep,
into
to a
ball of
grinding
shit.
halt.
A ball of shit.
Hey, G.
Our buddy Steve Anderson. Did you talk about Steve at all?
No.
Okay.
We haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steve
I thought
Anderson's mom
prayers with
passed
him.
away a few days ago, so I just want to send all our condolences out to him.
That sucks.
And it's terrible news.
Sorry to hear that.
Steve, we love you, man.
I saw that. Yeah, we're so sorry, Steve. I saw that. Was it last night
Well,
on Facebook?
yes, that's when he posted
I
up.
saw
I
it
guess
today.
I think she passed away like Wednesday or Thursday though.
Hmm.
So I think it was Wednesday she passed away. So
That
if
blows.
anybody's friends with Steve on Facebook, reach out to him. Just tell him you're thinking about him, and hopefully we'll see him soon. So,
Yeah, that's. I mean, for years, on these shows, he would always show up, at the middle of the show in the chat and say, "Hey, I just fed my mom and
Yeah.
and I'm here."
First priority.
I
Always.
was yeah.
So not only did I bring the show to a screeching halt just from coming on, but then I bring some bad news. But Steve, we're all thinking about you, man, and your family.
And now, a long distance dedication. It's about a dog named Snuggles.
Yeah.
So all right,
I bet some of us got that joke and some of us didn't.
I
I
got it.
didn't, but it was still funny.
Yeah, you trust me. I'll send it to you.
I got it. Who in the chat got that?
Yeah, some people in the chat got it too.
Well, Paul, who's in the chat tonight? Since we're
Oh, I got screwed.
it's not a bad thing.
all right.
If you don't
All right,
want to
here
do
we
it,
go.
I'll do it.
I got it. Here we go. I'm going to scroll up a little bit just to make sure I can get everybody.
Go tit for tat. You read a name. You read a name. You read a name. You read a name.
We got
Hello,
That gets tough though.
we got 93 people in here.
So
What's
how
up,
many
Mr.
was
Light
mine?
1972?
93,
Halface, Fruitcake Tony, Robin Sellers. Robin Sellers is back again. The Dog Pa, Bent Rossum, Dennis Brio. Is it Brio? Brault? I don't know. Who cares? Not going to work here. BB Made, Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs is great. They've retracted their message. I don't know what that's all about. Dwight Bailey. I'm not going to say hi to Nightbot. It doesn't exist. Jeff T. And what? No, I'm not going to say hello to 7 over 8 because he brought the show down to nothing. Just killed it. Metal Soda. G. Bucknoff. Jason Lee.
Brown?
Mark Dillon. I think I got every pork chop.
You son
Mark
of a
Taft,
bitch.
Tube Supio. It's a funny name. Renus Pinkel, of course. Sean Mahoney.
Mahoney.
Mickey Settlemeyer. And I think that's everybody. Cameron Brown. Damp Taco Lover. I'm sure your mom's proud of you.
Yeah.
Papa Blue. Mike is himself. And I don't know. That's all I got.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
I think I tried.
Good job, Paul.
Everybody in the chat last night, what did you think of what do you think of the show with Cameron? And did you listen or download to his
I did both. I downloaded and listened to his single, and it was excellent. And the production sounded great. And going through it on Pro Tools last night was really cool to see the breakdown, and and everything you guys showed about the recording process was very cool. And
yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to come across, but I guess it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we should do that more any chance we get. When your new album comes out too, let's do the whole classic albums treatment.
And if we were recording an album right now, we could do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not.
But apparently the choir is ready.
We're not using our microphones properly, so we can't record a record.
Proper mic technique.
There's a link to Cameron's single right there. So make sure you guys check that out.
What did you guys drop the ball? That hurt. Fuck me.
It's funny. I got a message this morning from Cameron. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's pretty funny.
He's here. He's here, right?
Yeah, he's here. So I won't talk too much shit about him. Oh, he did send me that. What the hell? He sent me all these. Where the hell was I today? Am I in a different?
I'd be careful opening some of that stuff because I keep getting
very
obvious
lot of messages. Yeah,
messages that it should not be opened.
No, he sent. Is this it? Okay, so he sent me this picture, a screenshot, I guess, of because now that he's verified on Spotify now, so now he can see like a breakdown of not only like how many streams, he can check how many people are listening at this moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
And he can also check and see like where people are listening. So if you see, let me try this side first.
Yeah, it's gonna
be a pain in the ass to spot.
Yeah, that looks good.
Looks great, doesn't it?
Yep, that helped.
Oh my god. Let's try it this way. Hold on, one.
Nope.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
159.
We just hit 100 viewers right there.
Wow, man. So
I get that.
Yeah, I left my Spotify upstairs running with that song just on repeat the whole night. And he woke up the next morning. He's like, have you been busy listening to it? 159 streams from Little River.
Hellface, it's a schooner, you idiot.
Schooner?
He just asked if it's a boat. It was showing the picture.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Mallrats reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you have to explain it.
Why can't I see the goddamn sailboat?
It's a schooner, you idiot!
Wow.
Yep. Somehow I knew Jay would get that reference. How did I know that?
Yeah, I know. Any kind of movie like that, I'm going to get it.
I'll have to see that.
You never saw
Mallrats? Mallrats is pretty good.
No, I never saw that, no.
I wonder how it holds up, though. Like, if somebody nowadays, like Johnny, if he watches it tomorrow, I wonder if he'll be
dated. It's definitely nobody do people hang out at the mall? I mean, not 20-somethings don't hang out at the mall anymore.
Not now.
There's a couple of new kids references.
Not now, but
it depends on the part of the country, I think. Different parts of the country, people go to the mall, and other parts they don't.
I'd watch that's very nostalgic kind of movie because that's what we used to do. We used to hang out at the mall. That was what we did. It's if there's nothing else to do, that's what you.
Well, hey, look, Jason Lee says Mallrats is great, very 90s, and he was in the movie, so
because he was in the movie, so he would know. That kid is on the escalator.
Again.
Oh no, Halen.
That's right, Jason Lee. Yeah.
Yep. He was my
Brody?
favorite part
Is
in
it
that
Brody?
movie.
Was that who? Was he
Yeah,
Brody?
he was the best part of the movie.
Yeah. And then one of the twins there. Who was the other character? Jason and not. Who was the other character in the? Well, Johnny doesn't know. But
Well, there's Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob.
no,
yeah.
but they were twins. The one was in Dazed and Confused, and one was in Mallrats. The other character in the movie.
I don't know.
And he won the other.
Oh yeah. No, that's the kid. Yeah, the kid, and that kid ended up getting arrested out here in Arizona. Jeremy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I can't even.
Oh yeah. He was a pretty terrible actor.
Yeah, he was a terrible actor. Good-looking kid, had all the looks, but none of the skills.
No.
And he ended up getting in some trouble here, and I think he's in Scottsdale on a regular basis. He spent a couple of nights in the back of a Scottsdale police car.
Oh, man, yeah.
Who's the chick in that movie? Not
Joey Lauren Adams.
Yes. Well, and then Shannon Doherty was in it.
Yeah, but Joey Lauren Adams is
Adams is,
a way cuter Renee Zellweger.
Dude, that's the one who's what's his name's daughter, right?
well, he
No, that's is it Claire Forlani?
she's a British. Yeah, she's she's a British
chick.
actress.
Yo, when
Yeah, I
that
think
movie came out, I had a huge boner for her, man.
Yeah, I think that's Claire Forlani. I think is that
I
correct?
think you might be right. Yeah.
Damn.
Jeremy
Why do
London,
I know
there we
that?
go. Jeremy and Jason London. I think it was Jason London.
Yeah, she was hot, man.
Yeah, she was.
Yep.
But I've always had a Joey Lauren Adams fetish, and I don't know
And
why.
I think Kevin Smith was dating her during the filming of that, or at
Dating Joey Lauren Adams?
Yeah, for some time around that, or maybe it was who's the other one? Chasing Amy. Maybe it was the Chasing.
She was in that too.
Maybe that's okay. So then I think that's what
That's
it
the
went.
chick
That was the
who's in,
chronology. It was like Clerks.
She was in Empire Records too.
And hold on, so was that the same one that was in Biodome as well? Talking about the blonde chick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Biodome.
Sounds about right.
37.
30 trying to suck any through the parking lot.
Yeah, Johnny, you got to see those movies, man. Those are some classics. Clerks. You haven't seen Clerks either.
I got to see that.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
The last
Jay-
movie, last
Jay
night.
is the other.
Last
character.
night, as I was going to sleep, I watched a movie called Big Fat Liar.
Was
Yeah,
that
you
the
gotta
Jim
see that.
Carrey one? Jim Carrey?
No,
Oh, that's Liar Liar, I think.
I think the movie was actually made for younger people because some of the stuff in it was not really funny. I mean,
I don't know about.
it had the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. You know, Malcolm.
Oh,
He was in it. And
Another
then
kid that lives here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was in it, and then the guy from the guy that played the Howard Stern's radio boss on in the
Oh
movie.
yeah, yeah.
Now Dom
Paul
or Pig
Paul
Vomit?
Giamatti.
Pig
Paul
Vomit.
Giamatti.
Paul
Yeah,
Giamatti.
Yeah.
Great, what a great actor that guy.
He's in
He's
it.
great in everything.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good movie actually. Called
Yes,
Big
Jay
Fat
is
Liar.
Johnny, Caleb wants the link. Caleb,
I
Johnny
don't want to
said
give it
no.
to him.
Johnny said no.
It's gonna go through me.
I watched
had-
while we're talking about stuff we're catching on. I finally caught up on Watchmen. Oh my God, was that dark?
No, that's kind of off the comic book, right? And
It's a continuation.
I remember
of
the
comic
movie
book.
from years ago. The movie from like the 90s was really
Yeah, no, the
a
TV
good cult.
series is like
Kind of-
9. It's nine episodes on HBO, and my God, was it dark? It was awesome.
But it's a
really dark, like,
superhero series, right?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of, but not really.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
there's
it was-
a lot that I need to catch up on too. Yeah.
The what's the guy? The guy that was in Oh Brother Where Art Thou was in it, and he was great.
Brother, where Art Thou? It's another one I watched.
George Clooney.
No. The goofy, scrawny kid.
Somebody else.
He's in a lot of stuff. Yes, that guy.
Yeah. Man, that's a John Biel question.
Yeah, you're gonna look that up now. I know.
That's a good movie, and I just watched it recently.
He's great.
Well, there's the John Turturro. He's the
Nope.
The
It's
other
the other.
guy.
It's
Yeah,
you've
it's the
named
third
2 out of
one.
the 3. It's the other guy.
You know what? I'm going to wait until I can figure it out because I know his name. He was in another Coen Brothers movie that just came out, and someone's going to say it in the chat. I'm not even going to look it up, but it was another Coen Brothers movie that he was the title character in it. About a 18 something vaudeville cowboy, which was
Tim Blake
kind of
Nelson.
Tim Blake. There you go. And that was, I think, his first role. The Coen brothers kind of discovered him, Tim Blake Nelson, and
he's great.
Great character in that movie.
Yeah.
Johnny, have you seen that?
Great.
Oh, brother.
Another one of those guys that's great and everything.
I never saw that one either. Although a friend of mine did a song in that one though.
And the music in that is unbelievable.
I own the soundtrack to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great movie.
I think it won the Academy Award that year for best soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack on that is fantastic.
Let me see.
Johnny, you got to do your homework now that you're sitting at home. We got to,
I'm here.
Do you have a Dropbox? I got all those on my computer here. You should Dropbox them for you and just play them on there. We'll discuss later.
Let's see. I'm looking.
Stand by, dog situation.
Yeah, that's gonna happen again. Johnny's got the cat situation, and Jay's got the baby situation, and Paul's got the dog situation.
I think
I got my situation.
Damp Taco and Riley Morgan. Because I think Damp Taco was it Damp Wet Taco? Is that what it was?
What? I don't know what
I think it was Wet Damp Taco.
There you go. He wanted to see the yellow Ibanez. So I asked in the chat if it wanted to see the yellow RG 7-string or the gem.
More specific.
Kind of hidden. I guess it is hidden, isn't it?
You have 2 yellow Ibanezes?
Is it Ibanez's or Ibanez?
Or Ibanez.
Is it an Ibanez?
Ivans. There you go.
Man.
The handle's nice, man.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's cool.
This one is just it's in 2019 RG. Crap, I don't even know the model on this. They're so confusing with these things. But it's a Prestige, Japanese made. I swapped out the pickups because the PAF 7s not very good. At least not for what
the 7-string version of the PAF.
Yeah, they're not really what I like in pickups.
PAF wasn't that kind of like not really geared towards 7-string kind of.
That was one of my things. I was like, why 7-string? Most of the time,
it's like
these guitars are made for like hard rock and heavy metal. You'd think you'd put like a hotter pickups in it. So anyway, these are bare knuckles. They've got a Ragnarok and an Emerald, and they're phenomenal. And yeah, I just did a couple custom knobs or whatever and put that in there.
I think I don't know what my Universe has in it. I want to say.
What year is it? The pink.
03. No, it's the one with the pyramid inlays, and I think it's an 03. Hang on. I got it.
It's probably got the Blaze.
It's the Blaze pickups in it.
Blaze they're good, man. They're pretty good pickups.
It is. It's funny. I have this listed here because I know. 03.
03, yeah.
It's an 03 PBK.
Yep. And the only difference, this is basically a stock gem. The only difference is I swapped out the original Edge tremolo for a Low Pro because I love. In my opinion, the Low Pro is the best tremolo ever made. So that's it. And then obviously the cool ass strap. DiMarzio should really do custom swirl straps. So I think the swirl straps are what, $5 or $10 more than a regular DiMarzio clip lock. Dude, if they charge $70 for a custom color swirl strap, like this has 3 colors plus the black. It's got the yellow, it's got the pink, the green, and the black. Dude, like people are getting custom swirl guitars from different people nowadays with their own colors. I think DiMarzio would rake in the dough if they made, $75 for a strap. You'd see people buying them if they could pick the colors of the swirl strap, hands down.
It's funny how all that stuff is coming back, like the pointy guitars and the neon this and all that stuff. What's old is new again. Remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, you couldn't touch a Les Paul or a Strat. You wouldn't have to pay for more more than $500-600 for one. All the pointing guitars were $1,200 and $1,400 and $1,500. Then it went, the pendulum swung back, and you could get all that stuff cheap, with the exception of a gem.
Yeah.
But you could buy like old Charvels and old Jacksons, old Japanese Charvels and Jacksons for $200-300. Now that's all coming back around, and everybody's putting out pointing guitars, new pointing guitars and shredders for whatever reason. I mean, the 7-string guitar went away and then came back.
Yeah, they actually didn't make a Universe one year.
Yeah.
Low sales. And then they came back because it was the Carbona.
Hey. Not too
Very
close.
sexy.
Move back.
Very sexy.
Hey, man. Oh, wait, he's like this.
You're not wearing it right. You get it onto your nose.
That goes over your penis.
That's doing no.
Why does it look like there's a small box of Chinese takeout on the end of that?
What?
Oh.
You got to put that around your waist.
Look at the front of it. Look at the front.
Good guess.
I am the smartest man
You are.
in the universe.
It's not a small ball.
How are my friends?
Small
I miss
box.
you.
What?
I miss my friends.
Hello, Caleb.
Hey, man.
Caleb, I don't think any of your friends are in here.
You staying healthy?
Oh, wait.
Wow.
Present me.
Yeah, where is it? Is this one?
Let's see your
There you
best
go.
sad acting.
Thumbnail.
What's up, man?
Not too
It's still
much.
funny when you do it, though. It's still funny. You know, some actors could do the sad thing, and it's really sad, but when you do it, it's funny.
Okay, good. Thanks for that.
That's what acting is.
Jay, I have a gift for you, but since I shouldn't be sending it because of all the sending germs, I think can I just show it to you on the air?
Dude, people send me. I'm getting shit in the mail from Amazon every damn day, so I don't give a shit. Send me your Corona.
All right, I'll send it to you.
And this is how it happens.
It's not for you anyway. So.
Oh, okay. It's for Jeannie.
No, it's not for her.
Victoria,
Those are for the baby.
what the hell's Caleb sending?
It's for Killer. All right.
Those are for the baby.
Is that going to be his nickname? Killer?
I hope
Killer?
not.
You bet. Oh my God.
Killer.
Every team he ever plays on will be
Caleb
Killer.
just coined it.
Yeah, I know.
Killer Carlson.
Yep.
As
I
long
like Killer. I like
Another
the name
hockey
Killer.
reference.
Yeah. You bet. Slap shot, baby.
Oh, man.
So yeah. How is everybody? Hanging in
Trying to stay sane, man.
You know what? I'm curious. The guys that live alone, the people that live alone, how are they doing? Because it's a little weirder now, isn't it? With being all alone.
Yeah.
You
I don't
know,
know. It's not that bad.
I've gone to my parents a few times, kept
Don't.
my distance outside, stayed
Yeah.
outside.
Through
not
the
go-
glass.
Yeah, we out on the back porch,
He just
kinda-
drives by.
Across the street.
But other than that, I mean, the supermarket once a week, and
Hey,
take out.
everybody's wearing a mask and gloves in the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
Some of the what's
That's
great
where
is about
everybody's going. That's where it is. If it's anywhere, it's there.
And absolutely, you're right, because that's the most people.
Everybody
now-
has to go there.
Yeah, the place that has the most people that's open.
Yeah.
what's cool though is some of the supermarkets, none of whom advertise on the show, so I won't name them by name, but some of the supermarkets have an employee specifically set up there, like a concierge at the front door with the handy wipes, the sanitary wipes, and rubber gloves on, like you're going into surgery.
Yep.
And they're like, "Can I get you a cart, sir?" And when they
Yep.
get the cart, they're wiping them down for you. It's like
that's at all of them.
it's
And-
getting
and-
well, not all of them here in Arizona, but all of the
No,
good ones.
They also, when you're in line for the checkout, they put a big plexi in front of you, between you and the checker.
Wow,
Well, yeah,
see that yet?
there's
You're gonna
tape
see
on
it.
the
And
floor.
you know what? You're going to see it permanently because it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like going like every supermarket is going into a check cashing place next to the Church's Fried Chicken in the sketchy neighborhood.
Hey, man.
When I was
They
in
have-
there for 5 minutes, and the whole time there was a guy on the PA giving instructions about we're wiping everything down every 5 minutes.
Hey, you two in aisle 7, you're too close. Step away.
Seriously, I mean, it was
Away.
almost like that.
The people that are restocking the shelves, also when they come down the aisle with the cart, they're stepping off and like pinning themselves against the produce and stuff like that while you walk by with your cart.
No, and there's a supermarket right up here near my parents, and they had one of their employees test positive. They shut the place down.
That happened here too.
And they're gonna have to do like a full sweep of the whole joint, clean everything before they can open up again.
Yep.
And that's gonna happen everywhere. All over. I mean,
it's gonna more people are gonna start testing positive, and more places are gonna be shutting down because of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't come on to talk about that shit, but
no, this is where people are supposed to be going to escape from that shit. But.
I know. I'm sorry, everybody.
And thanks for reminding us that we all live alone. Well, not all of us, but some of us.
I'm sorry, Paul. But you don't. You got those beautiful dogs, so you're good.
I do have these beautiful dogs, and don't think they don't keep me warm at night.
Oh, okay, I'm picturing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I paint pictures with my words. It's my job.
Did anybody see what I tried to start today?
The guitar thing?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it, and you did it. You did a great job.
No, I mean, but actually, like not just a picture, but like a description. This guitar right here. # this guitar right here.
Oh no, I didn't see that part. No, because the original one said post a picture, no description at all, and of course nobody listened to that.
No, I want to start a thing where everybody starts talking about a guitar in their collection, and they can just go through it.
No, I did see that, but that was a video, right? That was the video one. Yeah, I did see that, and I should probably do that for you at some point.
Yeah, I think everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of nice guitars, and you can tell like a little minute or two story about it and what it has on it, and # this guitar right here. Let's get it going.
I make sure, like when the one that says, I just want one picture of a guitar, that each person that does it, I put a different picture of a different guitar up.
I saw that, dude. Yeah, you're blasting.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, you're like giving Steve Anderson a run for his trolling money.
Nah, I'm clearly bored. You asked what it was like to live alone. Welcome to my Saturday.
Yeah. By the way, my best to Steve Anderson. He lost his mother, so I'd like to send that out to Steve if you're watching. I love you, buddy. Hang in there.
Yeah. Yes.
So, but I'm hoping it'll catch on. I'm hoping guys like, Brian May will start going, this guitar right here. Like that would be so sick.
That would be
cool. Did you see the Yngwie challenge?
No.
No, Yngwie has challenged people to every day upload a video of them practicing for the 15 days that they're in quarantine or whatever. And then to go back and watch it to see how much you've improved over those 15 days. Finally, wow. Yngwie contributes something positive to music. And
he's going to get it and die. So that's right at the end. Dude.
but he's been posting videos every day, and he's like breaking out like flying V's and stuff and running you through his rig. And he actually shows a semblance of personality, which this could be something that makes two things are going to happen. A, Tiger King becomes famous, and B, Yngwie Malmsteen seems likable.
The end of the world. It must be the end.
Clearly.
Of the world. It's here. It's upon us.
And he showed something besides a Strat too. I don't think I've ever seen him with anything besides.
Yeah, he whipped out a V. Whipped out a V with, of course, Yngwie pickups in it and scallop neck. But.
How funny is if he did a video for this guitar right here, but then he did like 5 of them or 10 of them or 15 of them, and they're all the cream Strat. Like he's got 15 of them.
He did 15 interviews with him, and he's got the whole collection behind him, and they're all exactly that.
And then 15 minutes later, Joe Stump does the same thing.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. Joe Stump is an obscure Yngwie clone reference for people.
Joe Stump.
He's a hell of a player, but Yngwie and Blackmore did it before him.
Blackmore.
That guitar thing, and I almost responded with challenge declined. But I don't want to be a total jerk.
Yngwie, please write a song that people like.
Man.
Listen to Fire and Ice, man.
I own like the first 8 Yngwie records. I'm throwing stones from inside my glass house.
Oh my God! Look
there
at
it
that.
is.
That's ridiculous.
How do you even know? It's like,
man, he must love flying V's.
It's like even like the bars. The bars are in the same place on most of them. It's just
The
Unbelievable.
only different electric guitar looks like a V.
Black V and a Les Paul.
That's what Hendrix.
It's good.
The only other one that Hendrix
Yeah, the
played.
semi-hollow single cutaway acoustic. Everything else is
Double neck. Is that a double neck?
Yeah, there's a double neck there.
I love that he thinks like, I know, I'll hold the 335.
I like the ukulele on the floor, on the ground in front of it
Yeah.
too. Scroll down a little bit. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he ran.
I can
the
play
one
this
blue-
too.
He ran
the
into the
blue
house
strat.
for that one. Like he went, wait.
There's another one too.
Oh my God.
Well, you
Oh,
know
the
what the
red-
benefit
the
to him playing
Look at
the
this
same.
one.
Oh, look at that one. Oh my God.
That's so stupid.
Look
I
at
mean,
all
don't get me
that.
wrong. I'm jealous, but come on.
Man.
That looks
Why?
Photoshop. That's not real.
And the Marshall heads too. My God.
Dude, I bet it's real. It's got to
The
be.
Marshall. That's probably
all
real.
those Marshalls, like all of those are like
Is that a high quality photo picture you can get into there?
vintage plexis. Like
Yeah.
just the amp heads alone are worth like $1 million right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's so unbelievable. It's got to be real.
Well, I
Yeah.
was just watching the AC/DC get rig run down, and I think they tour with like 60 something
SG. Oh,
heads.
oh my God.
Well, think of how lucky Fender is. You know, when Yngwie asks for a new guitar, they probably just have a shitload of them sitting there because all he does is have the same guitar over and over again. So they probably make a bunch of them. Hey, when Yngwie asks for a new guitar,
Go to
just
the
give him one. Give it. It's ready
Go
to
to
go.
But
go to
the-
the Yngwie locker.
Yeah,
They have an Yngwie locker.
he doesn't ask for anything different, so they just make them prior to him even asking for them.
All of that said, Rising Force changed the game. That record was phenomenal. You know, he took what Steve Howe and Blackmore did before him
Yeah.
and just brought it to another level. And you know, I would put Yngwie ahead of Randy Rhoads when it comes to as far as that technique. And he's the shred god. He's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah, no, he's the first one to really get like
Was Randy Rhoads
classical electric sound.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Steve Howe's stuff was in Prague, and Blackmore's stuff was. He did moments of like the the classical
I would compare
Beethoven, but
to him.
but
most.
well, no, Yngwie is clearly influenced by Blackmore
Pretty
and
obvious.
did it faster.
But you were saying Randy Rhoads. Are they kind of? I wouldn't put Randy Rhoads in that same kind of. But I guess they were the same era anyway.
Yeah, and Randy was one of the guys that gets credit for
Randy.
putting classical into his playing.
Yeah, I know he had the classical background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those were the two guys that in the 80s brought the classical thing out. And then Yngwie, I mean, clearly Yngwie is what he is. There's a bazillion clones of what he does, just like there were a bazillion clones of.
But I would say Randy was more like the Mozart classical, and Yngwie is more like the Paganini classical. Because I mean, that's my impression anyway. I guess that's
Okay.
what I would say about
Yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah, we got to get Steve Rosen back on for some Yngwie stories.
I think Yngwie's best work was with Steeler. I love Steeler. Love that band.
I think
That
the
was
only thing
great.
I know from him is Alcatraz. I think that's the only stuff I've heard is
Dude,
from.
I'm telling you, if you want songs, like great songs, listen to Fire and Ice, man, from Yngwie.
Yeah, the
out,
Odyssey
like,
record.
91, 92, somewhere around there. 93, 94. When the hell did that album even come out? John
Which is the
Biel.
one- Which
Well,
is the
so that
one he
was
did
around the same
with,
time. It's like the
with
the
Soto, which is the one he did with Soto.
passion warfare type.
He
of
did
stuff.
two with Soto. He did Trilogy and Marching Out. But the one he did with Joe Lynn Turner was fantastic too.
Right.
But was Yngwie doing solo stuff around the same time as Satriani, Eric Johnson, Steve Vai?
Before them,
Those solo albums were coming out,
Rising Force is 1984.
Yeah,
and that was just Yngwie solo. With
he started the guitar only type thing, like where
Shred
it was all pointed to him. There was no even like who even cared about what was singing or
Okay.
the lyrics or anything like that. It was just like a complete guitar.
all right, yeah, because that was I mean,
show. Like at least like with Van Halen, it was a mix. There was the Dave thing, but with Yngwie, it was like.
Yeah, no,
I need a singer just to have that, but who cares?
no, Yngwie was the first. Really, I mean, Jeff Beck really was the first guy
Right.
to do that, but
Right.
Yngwie was the guy that
and the
that
fusion
took it to the next generation.
He
Yeah.
wasn't really anywhere near fusion, right? I mean, he was much more neoclassical, I guess.
Yeah, but Jeff Beck was releasing instrumental guitar albums, you know, in the rock genre before.
And I'm thinking like Mahavishnu Orchestra, John McLaughlin, and those.
Yeah,
those
that was the idea of classical guitar.
Crimson, that kind of stuff. But I know Yngwie is different. But his style was different than that.
Well, it's. I think he just molded that ability to play music that is, you know, of a different era, you know, and we're talking centuries ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Renaissance
translated it to, you know, rock guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of groundbreaking for that. You know, Jeff Beck is more of like a jam band, you know, happens to be, you know, top 3 ever. And that's what that is. But Yngwie was like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, I saw him open for when he went out on his own. He got a big tour. He opened for AC/DC, I think, on the Fly on the Wall tour. And he came out and did his Little Italy thing and was just super loud and crushing it, and had a great, again, very similar to what Blackmore and John Lord used to do in Deep Purple, had a jam where he and Jens Johansson, his keyboard player, who is every bit the keyboard player that Yngwie is a guitar player, they went back and forth and did like a 6-minute, 7-minute jam that was just jaw-droppingly good.
Yeah.
Just phenomenally good. It's one of those things where, you know, every guitar player in the crowd that does this was kind of going,
right.
because it was just so good. And then AC/DC comes out, they start their set, and Angus comes out and plays the one note to Guns for Hire. Just now. Everybody forgot who Yngwie Malmsteen was. Like that. Like that.
Crowd,
it was just, it was phenomenal. It was so good. And Angus comes out with one note, just everyone forgot Yngwie Malmsteen like that.
So funny.
Mhm.
One of my favorite moments to watch. You know, technique is fantastic, but if you can groove, you win.
Yeah. Yeah, every you have everybody in the house if you can groove. But
Right.
the technique, you have like 26%. You know.
Mark Blankenship asked what happened to Tony McAlpine. He plays in Steve Vai's band as the keyboard player and third guitar player.
And he recovered from cancer a couple years ago.
Which is awesome. And
he was
super nice guy and a great guitar player.
Yeah.
Was he the one on the Astoria album? Astoria Live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the black.
Yeah, he plays keys and
the
he
bald
plays
after
guitar,
early 7-string player too.
and plays matches Steve with the solos too. Unity solos.
McAlpine was right up there with Vai and Satriani back in the late 80s.
He's somewhere between. It's funny. Yngwie Malmsteen is somewhere between Steve Vai and Yngwie Malmsteen. He's got the soul and the phrasing and the chops, the groove chops that a guy like Vai or Satriani has, and the technique that Yngwie Malmsteen has. He's the guy that found a happy middle and unfortunately was sort of left behind.
And McAlpine has social media, so if whoever asked that question, you can find him easy.
What is some of McAlpine's earlier stuff before Vai?
Edge of Insanity is the first record. Maximum Security is the second record. Then he did a band with Bobby Rock, Rudy Sarzo, and Tommy Aldrich called Project Mars, which is a fantastic, cool record.
Just the mind on Paul Marshall is ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. God. Google before Google.
Sorry. Yeah, it's Project Driver. Sorry, the band was Mars. MARS. Project Driver was the name of the album.
Hey, Johnny, why don't you text Steve Rosen, see what he's doing? Maybe he'll jump in. Come on. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
That would be.
Remember last time he was on the phone? Like, let's get him on.
Yeah. He said he would come back.
Greg, see what Greg's doing tonight. He jumped in last couple of weeks, knocked Runoff.
Oh, Greg, yeah.
I'd love to hang out.
It is later where he is. It's like midnight.
Yeah, Rosen's up 10 o'clock.
Here's my silly purchase for the day. This is the Def Leppard early years box set.
Nice.
And here I thought he was just going to pull out like another Ernie Ball.
Is that vinyl?
No, it's just it looks like vinyl. They made the box set look like it's vinyl.
That's wow.
Cool. And we got Pete on the
Pete Willis,
cover there.
Pete on Pete.
Pete on Pete. Remember that? That was a good show.
It's really only 3 years. It's 79, 80, and 81. So it's the stuff before they sort of popped. So it's all Pete Willis stuff, and remastered versions of the first two albums, then plus the EP, the original Def Leppard EP, and a couple of live shows from like 1980, which are pretty kick-ass, back when they were still somewhere between AC/DC and Paul Di'Anno Iron Maiden when it comes to music, and they hadn't quite found their pop
They were
chops
young,
yet, so
too,
it was a
weren't
little
they?
raw. Yeah, they were teenagers.
I think that they were before their 20s. They weren't
Hey,
even
Paul,
20 yet.
Paul, what's the real story with Pete Willis?
Alcoholic. He drank himself out of the band. Weird how that worked out. How Steve
That's kinda
Clark
what
was
they
able to
hinted
make it
at.
fun.
Steve Clark didn't drink himself out of the band.
No.
Exactly. Well, I mean that's
He
the
took
point.
a different route.
He drove
guess-
himself out of life.
I guess Steve Clark was able to show up when the tape was rolling and deliver, which we know some of those guys are able to do. The Joe Perrys of the world and the John Bonhams of the world could do, and I guess Pete Willis couldn't. That's the story. I mean, I don't know how much truth there is to it. I mean, a lot of that stuff happened. I was like 12 or 13 when he got kicked out of Def Leppard. So sorry, I don't have the scoop on that
It
one.
is strange. Yeah, one of the other members of the band actually dies from alcohol poisoning years later, and then
I think the first thing I noticed was that
it's like a Dave Mustaine story too. You know,
there was a blonde doing a brunette's job, but they both had Explorers. That's what first thing I noticed when Phil Collen was in there, was that he had an Explorer, but it wasn't the guy who had the Explorer.
oh,
Phil was in a great band with Phil Lewis from LA Guns called Girl.
Ah,
They put out 2 or 3 records together. That was a cool band. Girl, GIRL.
Yeah, I think that you can find their videos from back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
You won't recognize Phil Collen though because he has his shirt on.
did you see it was on Facebook a little while ago? The Brian Johnson before AC/DC.
Geordie, I have all their records.
Yeah, it was like Tom Jones kind of stuff. It was very, very different.
Yeah, it's more glammy actually. The Geordie records.
Well, he
Geordie
looked
put out
like he
5
reminded
albums.
me of Tom Jones.
And Brian was actually their driver. Is that the truth?
He was suggested. He drove them at some point, but I don't think he was like their tour bus driver or something like that. But there was definitely a connection between AC/DC and Brian before he joined the band.
Oh, that's such a great story. I want to
Yeah.
hear that.
I want another Bohemian Rhapsody style movie, like about another, like AC/DC or one of those bands. We need one of those every year.
Brian
Bohemian.
Johnson and Sammy Hagar are like the two only guys to ever do what they did.
Successfully, right?
Steve Perry too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's 3. There's really 4. Brian Johnson, Sammy Hagar, Steve Perry, Phil
But
Collins.
were they
Phil Collins.
Steve Perry? Was Journey big? Did they have any hits before Steve
Yeah,
Perry?
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah,
know they were the
Phil-
whole Santana thing. I know the whole Santana connection, but
Yeah. No, Journey was on their way, but
Greg Raleigh? Did Greg Raleigh
Steve Perry
sing?
took him to the next place.
Yeah. Yeah. They found like the greatest vocalist ever. Like,
well,
because
obviously.
people consider him and Freddie to be the best. So,
Steve Perry could sing, man.
oh my God.
But yeah, you're like, the few bands that were able to pull that off, changing singers. Or was it Supertramp had a couple of hits with different singers?
Well, both of the guys in Supertramp sang.
Oh, okay. So they were in this band at the same time. Then.
Yeah, the fun part about that Breakfast in America record, and like songs like Goodbye Stranger, which if you go back and listen to it, is about how much they hated each other. That was one of the first examples of a guy going in, recording his parts, leaving the studio, and another guy coming in and recording it because they couldn't be in the same room together. And it was still brilliant.
Has anybody
Anecdotes.
seen?
Jay Hannon, everyone.
Yeah. Hannon.
I'm letting you guys go, man. No one. I wouldn't add anything.
By the way, Jay, congrats on the Aurora track.
Oh, thanks. dude.
I really like it. So,
Thanks, man.
well done, buddy.
Yes, well done. Good
Mhm.
mix.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Appreciate that.
If you guys don't know, it's Cameron Brown's single Aurora. Jay is the producer.
You can get it on all streaming services, all formats.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out. All right, go ahead.
Has everybody seen that? What is Sammy?
Tiger King? Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was told that I gotta watch it. They're like, dude, it's right up your alley, man. I'm
Are
like,
you kidding me, dude?
I haven't seen it yet either.
Are you kidding me?
I haven't seen it.
Well, you're gonna go 7 straight hours.
I can't, dude, you know what it's like with a newborn. You can't go 7 straight hours doing anything.
Dude, you're gonna just say, "Stay the fuck out of this room." It's amazing.
Leave me alone.
It's like 37 train wrecks
Oh man.
in one show.
See, I'm not all that impressed because I've lived in Memphis, and everybody in Memphis is just as bass-backward as that is.
The scariest stat in the whole thing is there are more tigers in captivity in America than there are free in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
There's a big cat sanctuary in Eureka Springs, Arkansas called Turpentine Creek. And I used to go there when we were in Kansas City. We would go down, we'd do like a motorcycle ride, a wild hogs type ride down into Arkansas to pretend like we were real bikers. And you go to Turpentine Creek and there's these like huge Siberian tigers playing with big balls like a regular cat with a beach ball. Just massive cats. And there's like dozens of them there.
Like Siegfried and Roy.
Quentin James, there's no way to have any idea what Tiger King is until you sit down and push play. There's no way to explain it.
So it's a sort of a reality.
You can't.
show?
Yeah, dude. I had 2 people like try to explain. They're like, dude, can't. I can't explain it to you. You just have to watch it. If I tried, you'd be like, "There's no way that's real. You're lying."
Let's just say it's based in the big cat zoo type idea and who these people are that are involved. And there's several different.
But it's a reality show, correct?
No, it's like kind of.
It's kind of like a documentary.
Yeah,
it's nonfiction, right? It's not like a
nonfiction.
Trailer Park Boys or something.
Oh, it's real. It's real.
No, there's a petition going around to allege. I guess one of the guys, I'm not going to give it away, but one of the guys has some legal issues to the point where there's a petition going around to get Trump to pardon him.
Oh my God!
Saw it.
I know. And if you just see the show, and if that happens, then you know we're dead.
This is the thing. I've been joking about it because Tiger King doesn't happen if we're not all quarantined.
Good. That's exactly what I kind of picked. Right there. If there was something else to watch, this wouldn't happen. But this is happening now because we're all cooped up, and one person saw it and went, "This is amazing. You got to see this."
I don't know.
It spread like a virus, so to speak. It's ironic.
It's amazing. It's
like
really,
Siegfried and Roy meets Dog the Bounty Hunter is kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's got a real Honey Boo Boo feel to it.
Honey Boo Boo too, yeah.
I can't even explain what this guy is giving off. Like he's the most crazy human being you've ever met.
Wow.
I love that tiger is cocky.
Gave him a show.
What's that?
You know what we'll probably see now or see next is going to be one of those filters on like Instagram or something with his hairdo.
Hairdo, yeah.
Somebody has already done the meme with Trump's face on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was? I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, just get it over with. Get it over with. You'll see what I mean.
When you open up Netflix, that's the first thing you see.
Yeah. It's massive.
And what's funny is like while you're watching it, it's impossible not to let the world know that you're watching it. Like I had to take a picture with me with it in the background, like I'm doing this. Like it's so crazy. That guy's crazy. I mean, it is.
G. Bushnush says, "Do not watch it. Don't watch it."
Why?
It's all hype. All right, yeah, okay. Somebody has to be the killjoy.
Oh, it's terrific. No, I was
Wolverine. He's reckless and dangerous.
I mean, it's sad and awful and all those things, but
I don't watch train wreck kind of stuff.
Dude, just trust me.
Do you watch? What's the one where they're like? There's the people in the back room, like talking to the guy on the microphone and telling him to do stuff, stupid stuff, like in a restaurant.
Like Jackass or
I don't know.
Punk?
It's everything.
Punk?
I mean, it's like it's the newer one. I don't know. It's on TV.
Impractical Jokers.
This is a documentary. This isn't a reality show.
No, they're not like mean to the tigers, right?
That's the kind of I mean, when they're being like tricking people, being mean to people, like
there's parts of that in the show. Yes.
I don't want to see animals getting.
No, you're not going to see that kind of stuff.
Somebody told me. Well, my wife told me that there's this thing on Netflix. It's like
Man,
something
he's
with
posting
cats.
those are so recent.
Be nice to cats or something. What is it?
Oh, yeah. There's another. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and she was like, "You should, like, do you want to watch that?" And somebody told me that like it's seeing like people doing stuff to cats, and I'm like, I don't want to see that.
No, it's not that kind of show.
Yeah.
No,
No,
That's the
that one.
quickest way to get unfriended on Facebook. This minute I see somebody post a picture of animal cruelty,
Oh, gone.
Gone.
Yeah. I don't
Gone.
even want to see it.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
No,
I
the-
can't even watch that stupid commercial when CNN is on and they do the 2-minute, ASPCA commercial.
Mhm.
Boom, I'm out.
Yep.
No, yeah, the story I won't watch that either, but the story behind that is somebody posted a video that was really bad and it went viral, and like I don't remember it. I never saw it, but a lot of people saw it and they've tried to figure out where the person was, like who it was, where it was filmed.
Oh, well, they did that with
That's what
the
it's
guy.
about. To try to find who it was that made that video.
Someone was like playing with a dolphin or a shark out on the beach somewhere, and they were pulling it out of the water or something like that.
I don't even want to hear about that.
Yeah, okay. Let's get off the. But anyway,
One of my favorite things to see is when they're doing the running of the bulls in Pamplona and I see somebody get gored. I love it. I root for the bull every
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah!
Yeah.
Every time, like there was some radio clown that went down there to do it and he got impaled and I was like, well, it serves you right, you ass.
Hey, the one with the bull's horn gets right up the guy's ass.
Yeah, good for him. I'm all about it. Like anytime one of those animals wins, I'm good with it. Like the guy that goes and teases the crocodile and then ends up with a stump.
Yep.
Absolutely.
like Darwin.
Yep. Natural selection. Like that kid that licked the toilet and then ended up with coronavirus.
Yeah.
God, there was a guy in Boston who licked the subway. Like he went up and down the whole.
Yeah, no, I've seen it all.
And
it's
they
mind-boggling.
obviously had to shut everything down, and the guys just. It's like some of these younger people think that I won't get it that
Going
bad.
viral is
And they
better
think
than
that it's-
being viral.
Mhm.
That's
There
what-
was a
They think
There was
that
a kid
it's cool to
here.
catch it if you're not going to get sick from it, but I don't know.
There was a kid here who got shot a couple of years ago. You might remember this. It was a shooting at a restaurant in Mesa, Arizona. The kid got shot in the shoulder, and the thing he did first after being shot in the shoulder was upload a selfie to his Twitter page before calling the friggin' police or an ambulance. That was his first move.
Did he die?
No,
Okay.
Well, that would've been
but
perfect
his
then.
first move was, oh, I got to get this shot of this up on Twitter.
I was slightly ruling for him to be dead.
I know. I mean, me too. There's a little part of me that's like,
Caleb, I'm sure it's happened.
Dude, whenever the idea or thought crosses your mind, if there's aliens, why don't they just come down here? It's people like that. That's part of the reason. They're like, look at these idiots. Why the hell would we even bother?
right. Yeah, they just look in their monitor and go, we'll pass this one. We'll go on to
Yeah.
the next planet.
Just keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not, blowing the place up.
I love Jay's like, stop ruining it for us. I want them to
I
come
know.
and show
I want
themselves.
them down here. Stop licking toilet seats and fucking licking ice cream and putting it back in the. Oh God.
We'll make great pets.
Great song.
Hey, you got to call up to them. We need them now more than ever, right? Or they'll.
Wow, I don't want to be their dinner.
No.
Look, if anything has mastered the art of interstellar planetary travel,
Oh my gosh.
We don't have a
they're,
chance.
they're gonna have us for lunch.
Remember, that's what that Twilight Zone was about.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah. If they can get here, then the game's over.
Yeah. Every sci-fi. What was it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. First thing they do is go up Earth.
I have the opposite feeling. I feel like if a civilization masters interstellar travel, they're peaceful because usually, I mean, think of like, what the hell is going on?
I have no idea. I've done nothing to encourage this. He's just having a moment.
You've done nothing to stop it either.
Well, what am I going to do? If I stop it, I'm feeding the behavior. What do you want me to do? He's got to run.
It's all,
Oh,
we love it, man. We were just saying, you got to have the dogs.
You want me to yell at him? Come here.
No.
Down. Down.
Fruitcake Tony, no, Nerd Halen has not been able to rehearse. That would be violating quarantine.
Yeah, you got to figure out. We got to figure out how to, all stream together, or not just us, but like, play in different places, but have it sync up. That's
what I really want to do though, because it'd be perfect. This would be the greatest time to do it ever. It'd be to get the flatbed docking style and just drive through LA.
My buddy's in that video.
Now would be the best time to do that. That would be insane. Because there's no traffic. Mm-hmm. There's nothing.
Georgia satellites.
Was that picture of the 405 the other day legit, or did somebody Photoshop that?
I think it was photoshopped. I mean,
because there's no way there was nothing on the 405 at 5 o'clock.
No, there's people moving around, but it's definitely like 10%. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I hope there's film crews doing all kinds of like post-apocalyptic B-roll right now, and that's all over the country, all over the world. I mean, look at Times Square. You've seen pictures from Times Square.
Well, that's what they said about 9/11. There was when they grounded all the planes. That was the one, like whatever it was, 5 days that these scientists could do all these studies of the atmosphere uninterrupted because there was no aircraft.
Oh, what about it? Yeah, what about the it's so clean in LA now. It's gorgeous out.
Well, you saw the pictures of Venice, right, where the dolphins are back in the canals.
Yep.
See, it doesn't take long for Earth to fix.
Nature will recover.
It doesn't take long at all.
Would take right over. Sure.
No, that's the George Carlin thing. Don't save the planet, save the people.
Yeah,
shake us off.
We're a blip. We're a tiny blip on the radar, man.
Natural selection.
Yep.
We'll eventually screw ourselves. The planet will be here long after we're gone.
Oh yeah, it won't take
and our garbage itself. And our garbage will be here too.
Earth plus plastic. Remember that line?
Well, there was that whole series of what Discovery Channel did, like 1,000 years in the future, 500 years. They did it from everything from 10 years into the future all the way up to like 100,000 years. And the different things that would survive, like the Hoover Dam, I think was one of the things that would survive for like 100,000 years or something.
It's still hardening, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Great Wall of China is another one that would, long after we're gone.
The Great Wall of Vagina. That's what
of China.
That'd be nice, huh?
The Great Wall of China.
Ran into a few of those.
Yeah.
It's China, actually.
It's Gina, not China.
China.
That was I remember that one.
Thinking of trying men again.
What else what's going on in music world these days? And
you know what?
I know, like iHeartRadio's they're talking about doing the broadcasting from home, their living room, living room concert series.
A lot of those radio companies are laying people off.
Tuning into that.
Well, I'm in a weird situation. My band's album is finished, and we're having like chats, me and the guys of like when do we put this out? Do we do it when the
during
music industry is at a standstill, a halt, or do we wait till things pick back up? Like it's one of those things. We don't know what the hell we're gonna do,
and we don't know. Like I was talking to my wife. Like is everyone just gonna want to go on a trip right away, or is everyone going to be gun shy? Like,
right?
I think everyone's going to want to
go to a concert, anything like that.
Is everyone going to be gun shy of being around a crowd for a while?
Take some time.
A small percentage will. People that have like anxiety and shit. They're not. I don't want to go out of the house anyway. In general, so this is like normal to me. Everyone's like, "Man, how you hanging in there?" I'm like, "Shit, this is awesome. I don't have to leave the house. I don't need an excuse to stay home. This is great."
Right.
I will tell you that I have a friend who's in a touring band who shall remain nameless, who said that their new album was supposed to come out yesterday. They were supposed to do a tour to support the album, and they're a band that needs to tour because they don't sell a lot of records, but they sell a decent amount. And he said all of this has screwed up 18 months worth of planning and layout and recording costs and all of the things that they had set up for it. The marketing plan, as we all know, for a single tour, radio, press, all this kind of goofy stuff that kind of goes with it, He said, we have no idea when we're going to start up again.
Yeah, this is
And
the whole.
it's a waste of money. We needed to recoup that money that we just spent.
Plan their summer tours, all of it. Exactly.
God.
Yeah, there's a lot that. I mean, and it's just the beginning too, which is the scary part. But
The Eagles have started rescheduling some of their tour dates, so they must know something we don't.
But
I don't
you
know.
can
But
reschedule it to whenever. I
probably
mean, you
just-
don't know.
Penciling
And then
in.
bump it again, and then bump it again, and then bump it again, like Ozzy did, and then
You're
until
gonna
he
have
canceled
to.
everything.
Because it's not going to be this summer. Nothing's going to happen this summer. I don't think there's going to be much. You can reschedule it to July, but I don't think those shows are going to happen in July.
And then there might be the second wave.
Some
like I
said that this
it's-
might be seasonal.
It's so early that we don't.
Well, if it's seasonal, then we just got to deal with it.
That's what I'm saying. There are some who believe that it's seasonal, like the flu, that we're going to get this every
It's not
year
gonna
until
go
they come
away.
up with a vaccine.
I can't imagine it's going to go away. And
If
after
you
this,
can't kill the virus, you can't stop the virus.
you know, right? It'll die down over the summer. But let's we'll move on. I don't.
Oh, that's just,
Oh no, it's not. It's not really about that. It's just about. I mean,
You brought it up.
tour, not being able to see bands. Not
We
being able
all
to see
brought it up.
bands.
We've all
Yeah.
been. It's hard to not bring it up, you know. But
It sucks because who would have thought? And look, I'm not going to be that guy, but let's be thankful that that's the only thing we're dealing with right now. We're not dealing with international issues. We're not dealing with some rogue nation doing something stupid. This thing has calmed everything down. Who would have thought that
Yeah.
world
Until-
peace would be brought by
Wow.
this?
until
Yeah.
people find a way to exploit it.
Right.
Joshua Jones, how you doing, buddy?
hey,
Good to see
Josh.
you.
There's Josh.
Or as Ellie,
Hey, Ben.
or as Ellie calls him, Josh Hannon, like I've said a million times already. The second we get on FaceTime, Josh Hannon, Josh Hannon.
Yeah.
I wish I had his hair.
Oh my God.
Sideshow Josh.
Sideshow Josh. That's a good one.
No, the thing with like releasing music right now, like here, the original plan, and I'll let people in on some stuff now because nothing's happening with the record, obviously. But the original plan was like the album is 100% paid for. You know, like we recorded ourselves. The artwork is done. That's paid for. We got, for you metalheads out there, we got Bjorn Strid from Soilwork doing the vocals. So our idea was to get a distribution deal instead of like, we don't want to sign a record contract. That's the last thing on our minds, but just a distribution deal, like have a label, just put it out, pay to promote a little bit and put it out the right way. But now like that's all, record, we can't send it to anybody right now. You know what I
Everything's
mean?
on hold.
No record
No one-
labels are even open. So it's like,
No one's in the office.
yeah, no one's in the office. So it's we're kind of in that tricky spot where do we just put it out and then what happens in a week or 2 weeks or a month? It's dead in the water because
Right.
there's no way to promote it right now except for our own social media.
And if you could kind of just see what happens with that, and then you'll always have the option to
Full soft release.
full
What
release.
do they call it? Like a
But
soft opening.
The one thing I'm afraid of is I know it's happened to other bands. Like a band will put out an album, and then the label, if anybody's interested, they're like, all right, well, you guys already put it out, so like it's almost like they maybe they won't want to touch it because it's already out. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Like I just don't want to put it out since it's been so long anyway. Like we've waited this long. Why rush to do it? And I understand like everybody's sitting home right now. So that would be good, but it's one of those situations where like I don't know, we don't know what to do.
Do you guys
Well,
does
the-
Machi have a page?
Yeah, but we're not really active on it. Like we're not businessmen, you know what I mean? We
Because
don't
I
have
would-
any
I
kind of
would just
promotion helping us.
I would poll your audience.
Well, they're all going to be like, hell yeah, we want to hear it. So we're kind of contemplating like putting out a song soon, just to like,
Drop a single.
Wet their beak.
wet the beat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, do a
I
song.
mean, obviously, if this thing continues for a long time, like,
Do a song a month.
yeah, that's true too. So
Yeah, because I mean, it's all new to everybody. I mean, and there's everything, with people not able to record in a studio, people not able to do like television productions, movie productions, everything. So
the
I mean,
movies,
now
movies
you're
are going direct to like paper.
Well, yeah.
to pay per
But
view now.
you're also compete. If you were to release it right now, you're also competing with all that Netflix crap and all the stuff that's out there. I mean, not that to your fans are going to obviously will buy it right away, but to a casual fan, they're not going to. They may. It may go past their radar.
There's no way. That's what I'm saying too.
fan.
There's no way to really, find, except for our reach that the band has as individuals, and then as the social, the band stuff. There's really no other way for anybody to find out about it. That's why we want to do get a distro deal where there's a little bit of promotion behind it, and it's, I don't know, man. It's tricky.
Yeah, you're competing with Tiger King for crying out loud.
I know, for crying out loud. Look, Sean Mahoney said it. Did you see that before you read?
Right when you said it.
I guess I saw it first.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what's going on now with social media. I mean, everybody and their brother is doing this, what you've been doing for years.
Yep. Everyone. Just the whole Zoom thing. Everyone's hanging out on Zoom now.
Yeah. It's become such a crowded field that you put something out. How does it rise to the top? What
That's why you got to wait.
Go with it?
You still got to wait another month to see what's going to happen. I mean, we're still so early in it that it's.
You keep going back to this.
No, but I mean, but people think that in a month everything's going to be all right. I mean, the quarantine will be over and everything, but it's still so early that
you keep using that word.
You know what it means.
You keep talking about this.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
I think it sucks because I really don't think there's going to be a NAMM show for at least a couple of years, at least.
I mean, and that's one out of a million. Comic-Con, all that,
and that's where I see everybody. That's where I see Caleb.
Yeah, right. I can't see Johnny anymore.
Oh no, it's over
because of COVID.
Yeah.
But even, I mean, it's everything. Sports. I mean, not that we're all sports. None of us. I mean, Caleb's a sport. I mean, some of you guys are sports fans. I'm not, but But when are they going to? I mean, is it going to be for the 2020 football season going to happen? I mean, hockey and basketball are gone. I mean, is there going to be any baseball?
It'll be 21-20.
But I mean, it doesn't bother me. But I mean, I know there's a lot of sports fans out there who are dependent on ESPN, and with no content, what's going to happen?
Oh wait, that's your baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was his dog.
Oh no.
You threw something in your dog. I thought that was your dog that did that.
Oh, I just missed that.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, Bent. I'm not crying.
Jason Lee says, I miss NBA basketball. That's the one positive out of this. I don't have to watch any NBA highlights.
March Madness is. I mean, people.
I'm a huge sports fan, but I would literally rather watch the grass grow than watch, especially March Madness. That is
here's my problem with basketball.
I like watching.
There's contact on every play, and it's up to a guy in a gray shirt or a striped shirt what the contact is.
Yeah,
that's what bugs me about. And there's constantly whistles. I call it whistle ball.
Yep.
And all you do, if you look around, if you're at a game, all you do is look around and everyone's ref yelling at the ref the whole time. That's basketball.
Yeah,
it really is.
I like hockey. I do.
That's why I like hockey.
That would be the only sport that I would follow.
I love watching old, late 80s, 90s basketball. The old with the Bulls and stuff and the Pistons and all those teams. It's going at it, man. And it was definitely a more physical game back then. Now it's these guys are these huge guys, man, just so physically gifted. And you touch them and it's a foul. Not even touch them. Sometimes LeBron, who is just a freak of nature, and he's faking getting fouled all the time. Dude, grow a set, will you?
Well, remember Hack-a-Shack. I mean, Jesus Christ, that guy could just go from the center court and just bowl over everybody, and we're like, oh, okay, just let him go.
Guys,
it's Shaq, let him go.
Hack-a-Shack, Johnny.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I might be back. I might not. I got to help out downstairs for a few.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, take care of that.
I might be back.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Y'all come back now.
LeBron is not a god. LeBron is the best player in a league full of mediocre has-beens and never wases. LeBron couldn't play in the mid 80s with the great players of that time. Every team, and I don't even like basketball, but every team back in the late 70s through the early 90s had legendary players in their team. The league now is so watered down that a guy like LeBron, let me take that back. He's definitely the best player in basketball today, but he's not surrounded by the same level of talent that guys like Jordan and Pippen and David Robinson and Patrick Ewing.
All those teams had role players. They had guys that did different things, and now it's like they're faceless. But what's amazing is that you don't know a guy. He's making $26 million a year. You don't even know who he is, but he's. Well,
that's the same thing in music, though, Caleb. You and I both know this. We're of a certain age. There was a time when you could name everybody in Iron Maiden. Who plays rhythm guitar for Nickelback? Who cares?
Who's in Nickelback?
Who cares?
I was just thinking of Poison earlier today, or the other
They're
day.
not making millions.
I named everybody in Poison.
Who's the drummer?
Ricky Rocket, Bobby Dahl.
Can I tell you though,
DeVille?
Paul? Can I tell you though? I'm so relieved that I didn't know the answer to that question.
But that's the point. The point is, like, who's the drummer in Shinedown?
I was literally sitting in a light thinking of that.
Who plays bass in Stained? Who cares?
True.
But when we were kids, and I know this sounds like a get off my lawn moment, but you knew the name of every player in Judas Priest, every player in Queensryche, every player in, obviously Van Halen, every player in Bullet Boys,
Steve Harris, those people. You
knew all those guys.
The rhythm players that Michael
and that's
Anthony,
the same thing in sports. In sports, man, I used to be able to name the starting 11 for the Pittsburgh Steelers 79 defense. Why? Because they were all great at what they did, and they all had character and personality. And I think that, LeBron James is the only personality in basketball right now. Okay, who's the guy with the thick eyebrows? That guy too.
Well, like you say, Paul, it's been watered down. It's watered down with the content the television content today. I mean, back then you had one network that would, play a football game. Back TV 38.
So much. That's a good point, John. There's just so much going on now.
Yeah.
But there's no. But with that in mind, there's no excuse for not knowing who these guys are, because there's no. It's a second away. It's a John Biel Google away.
Well, and if that's the scene that you're in, if you're the ESPN guy,
whose phone number do you remember?
My parents. That's about it.
Whose phone number?
In my childhood, the childhood neighbors, family. I can remember.
Whose phone number can you remember now? You know why? Because we gave it all away to this.
It's the same thing we did with music. We sacrificed fidelity for portability.
I took that memory that I used to have, and I put it in here. Now this has my memory.
I can remember about 10 phone numbers from my childhood. That's about it. And just
because I grew up in a time without this, I still know where all the streets are in this town. But
they don't teach cursive in school now.
Yeah, the kids now, they don't know what the next block is, because they're just watching this, where to go. This tells them where to go. Mm-hmm. We used to have to study the Thomas Guide, you remember that. It was
going back to the sports thing though, because that was where we started with the LeBron James thing. Even if you didn't know sports or you didn't care about basketball, you still knew who these guys were, because they were that good. They transcended the actual game. And it was like, did you see Pippen and Jordan last? We knew who Bill Laimbeer was. Bill Laimbeer's not a great basketball player. No, but we knew who he was because there was some character there.
He had a profile. He had there was something he brought to the game that no one else did. And he was one of the early guys to do it.
Right.
And it also has a lot to do with just the material we had at our hands. We had nothing back then except what we saw on television and what we saw in a magazine or in a newspaper.
Sure. Exactly.
We read liner notes.
Who I used to read the back page of the sports section every day, the whole the day in sports, they called it in LA Times, all the games, all the stats, the box scores, all on one page.
Johnny's nodding like he did that
too.
The
whole thing and memorize.
No, I'm just agreeing, but no.
Yeah, but anyway, I saw a good question. For me, of course.
But you're right. I mean, that was, you had to get every little bit that you could from the newspaper, from the radio, you'd call into the radio show. You'd watch
magazine.
the one network that had hockey,
magazine.
the one network that had basketball.
Cream and Hit Parader. We studied back and forth. We knew every player. We know all the members from Judas Priest because they were all listed right there.
Well, it's like as guitars. I mean, you knew the difference between the Frankenstrat and the 5150. I mean, a lot of people didn't know that. Thought it was the same guitar.
We knew the dimensions for the 5150 stage because John Biel built it.
Because I did the homework. I mean, hell.
Which raises the question, the infinite question: are we going to do Stonehenge tomorrow night?
Yeah. Well, we've got the 18-inch. We got the 18-inch model, so
we're not gonna fucking do Stonehenge.
Fucking Stonehenge.
In danger of being trampled by a dwarf.
By a dwarf.
Das Metal.
I gotta watch that again. I've been meaning to watch that, man.
Nerd Halen, what do you think about VH unreleased studio recordings like Zero and Eyes of the Night? I discovered those a few months ago.
Well,
I was blown away by it all. Here's what I think about that stuff. First of all, I love hearing all the little bits and pieces of the songs you hear from the actual later recordings in other songs that you would have never heard of.
Voodoo Queen.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like there's
Honolulu Baby.
There's little pieces in those songs that you hear on Sammy records. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But what it's also great about listening to those old demos is it really, and Greg Renoff's going to love me right now, it really shows you what a master Ted Templeman was and what he did for this band, because Van Halen had an uncured sound on those records, and even on the Gene Simmons demos, they just didn't have it yet. They didn't have it yet. But when that first Van Halen record came out, it was all there. So you can see, like, even Dave's voice and the inflections he used to give, he used to try so hard and had this affect to him when he would talk, like on stage, and Ted took it out of him. He like made him dial it back like to 70% or something. And that's the secret. You listen to those old demos, you can see Dave trying, pushing really hard, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But Ted Templeman,
I think Dave had a lot lower confidence in those early days, and then I think that's what Templeman brought out of him, is his confidence. Because you're right. I mean, he was trying way too hard on. You listen to the Gene Simmons demos and that kind of stuff, and it's all over the place. The ahs and it just.
How about that alternate we heard like last year? The alternate vocal for "Dance the Night Away." Mm-hmm. You can hear Dave. Yeah. You can hear Dave pushing like he used to, and then you can hear like the dialed back version, which is the album version. And
but you could hear what Templeman brought to the table when you went back and listened to those Montrose records that we now look back on and go, oh, okay. It's, Templeman was certainly the guy that had the Midas touch, not unlike George Martin or Mutt Lange or any of those guys. Each of those great producers had their band that made them shine as a producer. And Templeman, for him, even though he had done great work prior to Van Halen is his thing. That was his moment. Why do we have a towel? What's going on here? What is this about?
I think there's a spill in the other room.
I'm going to go check on it. To be honest,
you need to go take care of that.
but the point being, Caleb's absolutely right. Templeman did for Van Halen what Mutt Lange did for Def Leppard, and what Bob Rock did for Metallica and Motley Crue, and he had that. He was that fifth member that added that thing, which is why the first couple of Dave records sound so friggin' good, because Templeman was involved with those.
Lynn Johns for Zeppelin.
Well, I'm
Andy Johns.
I'm anxious to hear what Greg writes about that too. Is his new book out? I mean, with the Templeman book, is that out yet?
It's pre-order right now.
Because that's the story we haven't heard. I mean, you're right. Being like that George Martin or that, the producer behind the scenes, the Mutt Lange or the Bob Rock. And yeah, you've always heard the Templeman stories from the Van Halen guys, from Sammy and from Dave and all of them. But it's cool that Greg's writing this new perspective on it, and that he's done his homework, and Greg's the man to do it. Definitely, I'm anxious to hear that, to read that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, same here.
Well, we're going to get a lot of detail about stuff we've never gotten detail about, and that's what I'm
getting at. Sure,
yeah.
The deep stuff. Yeah, the recording techniques
from the guy. Yeah, from the
or
guy.
like Eddie Kramer's. Yeah, Ben Rosenstone's Eddie Kramer. All the Andy Johns, Glenn Johns, the guys that you've heard of.
I'll tell you something. You're going to ask guys like Dave Roth, and you're going to ask Eddie Van Halen and Michael Anthony, Alex Van Halen questions about those days. It's going to be foggy. You're not going to get the right answer, but you're going to get the story from Ted Templeman.
Yeah. And it's like when the Noel Monk book, you get the behind the scenes kind of perspective, which is
right. There's a guy
standing there. The stuff you haven't heard, and the stuff that, it hasn't been filtered through. It's from the, the actual.
If I ever met the guy and had a few hours, I would just go like song by song. Like, how did you arrange this? Like, I would want to know everything. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, ask those questions like is this, did Eddie just play 6 solos and you just spliced tape and then told him to relearn it, this way? Like, cause that's the story. That's what Dave recently revealed, was that's how Eddie would build his solo.
Well, how they put stuff together, how they put the, like Fair Warning, how it was pieced together, more than Ed would give away in an interview, but the different takes and kind of that kind of stuff.
I have a lot of the raw tracks to a lot of that stuff. All the stuff that was on a lot of it's on YouTube, but I've got better quality stuff from the Guitar Hero stuff, and with the guitar stuff. With the vocals, like you can hear all the punch-ins, you can hear all that stuff. With the vocals,
especially the vocals.
With the vocals, you can hear it. With the guitar, I haven't listened. You guys, we might have to do like a Discord listening party with that stuff.
Absolutely,
we should do that. We should definitely do that one of these days. I mean, we're all here,
right?
But I was gonna say you can really hear all the punch-ins with the bass. With the bass, you totally hear all the different splices.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah, they probably did. But I think I want to say Unchained, even just the album version of Unchained has a couple of different takes of solos on that.
Well, no, here's
Caleb,
the deal.
Here's
the deal with that is that Eddie in the later stages of that recording for that record went in After Hours with Don Landy, and they re-recorded a bunch of solos, a bunch of them for that song, for that record. So you'll hear most of those solos on that album are punched in.
Well, yeah, but also different takes too. I mean, there might be 3 different solo takes that he did for Unchained or from So This Is Love or something like that, and they're fading them up through the solo. That's kind of what I hear. A couple. I mean, it might be not a punch in or anything, but it's like.
No, I think it's
this part from one solo. Then
up to that point, Eddie was famous for actually
doing it all
in one track,
right?
And Fair Warning's like the first time that he.
That's what I mean, like the interviews when he was the Rosen interviews and stuff, where he would say it was all done.
So if there's one thing I'd love to hear, is what were the solos he didn't like, and where are they now?
Right.
That would be cool. And do they exist still, or did they completely eliminate them? But what he did was literally punch in over his guitar track for the song.
I think up until like 5150, they were doing it on 16 track. I mean, like even 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and Women and Children, all those were done on 16
all the Roth
track
ones.
Yeah.
At Sunset Sound, yeah.
Right. And when he built 5150, it was first a 16 track studio. So even 84 was, I think. But I mean, you can get more than 16 tracks.
Well, with Van Halen, you're not going to need, that many tracks.
Certainly on like the first couple of albums, yeah. Right. I mean, they could have done that on 16 tracks with room to spare.
You got 3 instruments, maybe,
a stereo guitar track, wet and dry guitar track.
What I love about those records is that you can pan to one side and play along with the actual band.
Yeah.
Well, and to Jay, Jay was
Mhm.
talking about this last night, listening to Cameron's. That's the first thing I noticed was the guitar pan. You've got the wet effects on one side, and that was, that's and Jay pointed that out last night, that he was kind of inspired by Ed's earlier album sound.
It's stunning how much separation the stereo separation, just panning to 10 and 2 will do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, you don't have to go all the way,
No.
but just panning to 10 and 2 gives you a little room in that middle for the vocal.
And that's Templeman
drum.
too, with the Van Halen pan, with the wet on one side and the sort of dry or just distorted Marshall sound on one side, and then the wet effects on the other.
Yeah,
There's a great.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say there's a great buried line in On Fire where Eddie just does a slide. He goes, whomp, whomp, whomp. It's just these 3 slides that are buried in the mix until you split it a little bit. And then you hear it and you go, oh! It's like that underlying rhythm playing.
It's one of those things you've heard on the 100th you've heard it for the 100th time, and then you do hear that. And
now that once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. Kind of like the what the fuck, man, at the beginning of Hot for Teacher. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
That's right.
And Templeman is responsible for a lot of that stuff, including one of my favorites, the beginning of So This Is Love, when the bass is overmodulating, and he just pulls the fader back in the mix.
You can hear it, sure. Yeah.
They leave it in the final mix, which I think is lazy and or awesome at the same time.
Well, and it speaks to the way they mix those albums too, with all the guys.
And we all noticed before we were any kind of aficionado. We all noticed that.
Yeah, but it was so cool when it happened. Or when you hear Dave calling out in the beginning of Fools, and they're doing the call and response. Oh yeah, and you hear him whisper, "Let's try one together."
Yeah, that's exactly. I love that stuff. Sure.
In today's world, they would have cut that out.
The rain, and
Could This Be Magic? Yeah,
Could This Be Magic? Yeah.
But in today's world, they would have cut that stuff out, and it's almost like, and this may have something to do with the people involved. Andy Johns, who is an engineer on so many of the Van Halen stuff, and on Zeppelin stuff. If you go back to Physical Graffiti, you'll hear at the beginning of Black Country Woman, which they recorded outdoors at Headley Grange. You'll hear there's a plane that goes over, and you hear, goes, I want to get that plane out of here. And you hear Robert play go, nah, leave it. And it's, to me, that is that's an essence of that snapshot in that moment of time.
Good night, Janice.
I know.
What I love about that.
I got to ask a question real quick. Dennis Bro asked, will Nerd Halen do Van Halen lessons? I mean, and then there's a guy right below you named Joshua Jones. Okay. I don't know if I have the patience to do lessons yet. I mean, I'm not a huge theory guy, and it's all just a technique for me. But I'll tell you, to get it over with easy, Dennis, look up a guy. His name's Doug Steele. And he's the guy on YouTube that I learn all my Van Halen stuff from. It's not spot on, but the guy has a great feel, and he's a great teacher, and he has a great way of conveying it. So Doug Steele is his name. And I recommend him if you want to learn a lot of the Van Halen stuff on, tonight. That would be my thing. So, I mean, who knows? Things go a while here. I might start giving lessons, but yeah, not right now. But thank you for the question.
You're like a politician. Thank you for the question. It's a great question.
It is.
Joshua Jones endorses Doug Steele as well.
And Josh knows Doug very well.
Bent Rosen too.
Yeah, no,
they all. Yeah.
The sad part is that obviously his lessons are useless because neither of you can play. So
because you all suck.
Wrong. I hate that. I hate that there are people who can see it once and make it happen. And obviously, it comes down to knowing where you're going on the neck. But even if you know where you're going on the neck, you can't teach feel.
Yeah. No. It's funny when I'm learning from Doug.
And now we're back to Yngwie.
When I'm learning from Doug Steele or watching learning a song I haven't learned, Eddie does like 5 things. Let's face it, he does like 5 things. So if he tells you a certain lick, and then that the feel that's required behind it, because he did that same thing in this song or in that song. So it's easy to pick up if you know the 5 things that Eddie does. Like it's that kind of
Vi
thing.
has that too. Vi has a signature pattern that he uses.
500. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but he has signature patterns that you go, oh, I know that from this.
Right.
Certainly a bigger library, but yeah, your point is, and that's why, and Angus too, you can feel certain things from certain players. That's their style.
Mm-hmm. It's what they brought. So, and it's working for them, so they keep using it. That's how it goes. Like there's certain things I'll do every time I pick up a guitar. In the first 5 minutes, there's certain things I'm always going to play. I'm just always going to play this riff, that lick, because I'm actually like testing out how it sounds on that guitar, if it's a different guitar. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, the beauty of a guitar you've never played before is that something you've never played before will come from that guitar. And that's why people, if you want to ever know why people keep getting more guitars, that's the number one reason.
But we were joking about that, Caleb, you and I, when I sent you the picture of all the Les Pauls, and people say to yourself, well, why would you have more than one Les Paul, even with the same neck profile and different pickups? Even they just feel different and they play different. Like every piece of wood is unique.
You know why? Because it's legal. Right? And guess what? You'd have a bunch of too in the next room if you could. Chicks. Because
if we were in Utah, that could happen.
Because each one's different. Each one feels different. Each one makes you feel a different way.
You don't need $1 million to do 2 chicks at the same time. Kind of chicks that'll double up on a guy on me, you would. But no, it's the same. Like, why own multiple? Like, we looked at the Yngwie picture earlier, and we were clowning that because he has 500 of the same cream maple neck Stratocasters with the scallop necks and everything. But I bet you could pick up 5 of those and get 5 different feels.
Right. Like
they've all been played at different levels. They've all been worn at different levels, and each one of them probably feels better when you're grooving in a certain way.
Yeah, I have 2 Wolfgangs.
Right.
One is a USA. EVH USA 2009, and one is a hybrid USA body with a Japanese neck, and they couldn't feel more different.
Right.
But they're very similar. But the neck and just the sound that I'm getting, I have a different pickup in the Space Wolf. It's just they're different, and they'll always be different. Anything that's made out of wood, I don't care. I don't care if it came off the same cutting machine; it's going to be different. It just
even the same tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because it's legal, that's why we want more.
Das Metal, thank you so much, man.
And tell me something. Am I crazy, awful for like one of my first thoughts about this whole situation we're in is. What's the production schedule in the EVH factory in Mexico? And will my Frankie be, delayed?
No, that's the selfish nature of hoarding.
Yeah.
You want to hoard your guitar. You hope it if they shut down the factory in Mexico,
it's
they shut it down after yours is completed.
Right. It's supposed to come in May. And
you
something
might not get your Frankie.
Yeah, something tells me it's going to be delayed. So,
I'm hearing a dog. I'm hearing a dog throwing a pillow around in the living room right now. He's doing the death shake. What?
I hope it's not the other dog.
No. She actually. The funny thing about it is, as aggressive as the male is, running back and forth and stuff like that, when Lemmy lays down the hammer, he's like, "Okay. All right."
She's the boss. Yeah.
Yeah, she runs this bitch.
This bitch runs this place.
Yeah, she knows exactly what's going on. No, that would suck. But let's face it, Caleb, you want your guitar to be as sterile as possible when you get it. So better late than sick.
Sure.
I'm sure they're going to shut down all of the manufacturing. And what is that? What are you?
What was that?
It's a pair of shorts. Where the hell did you get those?
Daddy, look what I got you.
The fuck?
You're not gonna like the dresser.
Yeah, no. I'm wondering if he's figured out how to open doors or drawers. No, drop. Don't you bite me.
How old is he?
He's somewhere around 3 or 4.
Still a puppy.
Yeah, no, he's still challenging. But he knows if I put him down and lay the hammer down, he'll spend the rest of the night apologizing.
Yeah.
So he just burped.
Johnny, where's Ned tonight?
That means something was eaten.
He's outside somewhere.
He's out.
He brought a couple nights ago. He brought a rat in and was eating it in the bathroom.
Wasn't that last Saturday? He had like the stomach.
It's every night. It's every night. But yeah, I walked by and he was in there eating a rat and the head was gone. And he's just sitting there eating it. And I had to clean up what was left. It was horrible.
Johnny, you won't starve. You can always fry that up if you get desperate.
No. We don't want to start anything. We don't want to.
Well, I guess that's how it started in the first place.
COVID-20 from that.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's insane. Yeah, I was sort of like, I used to have cats growing up because when you live in the projects, you can't have dogs. They won't let you have the dogs. So I had cats growing up, and I've had a cat catch mice and like trap them in the bathroom. And my mom would leave a note on the door. It says, "Pandora in here with mouse." And I'm like, all right. So I would go in and watch, and she would slap that mouse all around, and I'd just sit there and watch it happen because I'm a sadist.
Oh my
God.
But the thing that I always thought was they don't eat them.
No, they just play with it.
They just play with them until they're dead. Ned eats rats?
Yeah, he'll eat the whole thing, and then he'll just leave like the stomach, or there's some tiny little bit of organ that's left, and he eats it quick too. The entire thing. You guys remember how big how you remember how huge those rats were that he brought in?
If Ned could talk, he'd be like, "I don't like the pancreas."
What am I, a third world cat?
Pancreas is gross. Good night, fruitcake Tony. Thank
The
you.
intestines.
Good night, Tony and Dakota Williams. No, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and after we're done, this is a podcast on Spotify and iTunes.
Ned's like the guy that doesn't eat the bellies and fried clams.
Yeah, no, we're not on radio right now, but Neanderthal there on the top right, he's a radio guy.
Yes, one of the best.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Best in the business.
In Phoenix.
Are you
Pete's working?
Are you Phoenix or are you like worldwide?
Well, we're Phoenix, but you can
Okay.
stream up. We stream worldwide, so you can do that.
Okay.
I may end up doing some stuff for some other radio stations in our company. If that comes to fruition, I'll let you know. But there's a rock station in St. Louis that we own that I might end up on as well. So that'd be kind of fun.
Sweet.
Yeah. I've had some people ask me why I don't go to satellite radio, and it's because they don't pay very well. And a lot of the stuff on satellite radio is pre-recorded. And I don't like doing pre-recorded radio.
Joshua Jones says he used to live in Glendale.
Glendale's out in the West Valley. Yeah, our station is actually in Central Phoenix. It used to be the company that owns our station owned all the rock stations. They still own all the rock stations. But one was in Mesa, the other one was in Tempe, and the third one was in Scottsdale. So we had everything's all in one building.
Josh misses the dry heat. I just based on his hair, I think he misses that.
Yeah.
Right, Josh?
With hair like that, you gotta be sure you're in the right climate.
Yeah, I think you want some dry weather for that hair.
Yeah.
What's
It's
up,
dry.
AI?
Good night, Das Metal.
Good night, Doss. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us and the super chat. That helps
right.
pay for this.
Yeah, so I mean, back to the early demos. I mean, that's a discussion we could have for hours. I mean,
What's your favorite unreleased Van Halen song?
man, Well, until Different Kind of Truth came out, I mean, like She's the Woman and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the stuff that was kind of, to us, you know, the guys, the people that hadn't heard, you know, or who weren't familiar with the unreleased stuff.
Yeah, what's the one that has the Mean Streets parts in
Well,
it?
that's Voodoo
That
Queen.
was okay.
Okay,
Yeah, Voodoo Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah, Voodoo
yeah.
Queen. Like those were some of the ones that, and I remember getting snail mail. Probably the first kind of bootleg that I ever got was the Van Halen rarities, and it was, I mean, probably 15 different songs. You know, some of them covers and stuff like that.
Yeah, Put Out the Lights is a good one. That's
Yeah,
Josh
I wish I still had that cassette. I mean, some of the ones that I remember, it was the
I like
the
Last Night.
James Gang cover. What was the James Gang cover that they did?
Oh, Walk Away.
Walk Away. That was, and I didn't even know it was a James Gang at that time, but that I remember hearing that on the unreleased stuff, and that was one of the cooler tracks.
What's the they do some Zeppelin stuff too that I liked, that what they were doing back in the club.
Oh, the
days.
Rover. They did the Rover.
They did the Rover. They might have done Sick Again too.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
So
something about the Rover was so cool is that that's one of my favorite Zeppelin songs of all time, and when I found out that Van Halen had covered it, you know, this is, you know, decades later, that was the coolest thing ever, just because of how much I love that song, and then they actually covered it, so I thought that was really cool.
Google the original. It's an acoustic song.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's, if you can find it on YouTube. It's there's an acoustic version of the Rover. It's just
The
it's
Zeppelin.
it's just Robert and Jimmy with an acoustic guitar, sort of trying to hang.
Wasn't that what album was that? Was Physical Graffiti?
Physical Graffiti is where it ended up on. Yeah,
listen to that again.
But they were working on that as early as '73. You know, Zeppelin was, again,
That was from the Farmhouse tapes.
Yeah, Headley Grange.
Headley Grange. Yeah.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is Van Halen, you remember this, Van Halen took so much heat for going back to grabbing those old demos and stuff for A Different Kind of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the Rolling Stones did it, the Beatles did it,
everybody does it.
Everybody does it, but for whatever reason, Van Halen got heat for it, and I don't understand why.
Well, because it was their first album in whatever 15 years or something, you know. Yeah, I mean, and it was great for us fans. I mean, I think because we'd heard a lot of those songs.
Yeah,
and we were like, yeah, let's get the real studio versions.
The heat comes from people thinking it's lazy. It's not lazy if you guys you're working and you're still together and you're doing your 14th and 15th and 16th record and there's no break. Then it's cool. But if you take
perfect for Different Kind of Truth, it was just the perfect way to do that album. I think, whether it was written 50 years ago or whatever. I mean, I think it doesn't matter. I mean, it was still fresh and it was a great album for kind of a swan song for Van Halen.
Let's go over the songs that were brand new for that. So,
Honey Your Blues,
Honey Baby,
7 over 8. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that David Lee Roth shirt. So you can forget about that.
Honey Baby, Sweet It All, You and Your Blues,
Chinatown,
The Trouble With Never.
Although The Trouble Would Never, they should have been sued because it's friggin' crosstown traffic. I mean, literally crosstown traffic.
The verse, yeah, for sure.
The whole riff of the song is,
yeah.
I mean, it's, if you go back to their cover of Crosstown Traffic, which they had, there are demos of. I was shocked that they got away with that.
As is.
Stay Frosty.
So we already have 5. Yeah, Stay Frosty. That's half the record. Brand new.
So it's Diver Down.
Yeah. But with their own song. So
it wasn't a negative to me that they were using old material. That
didn't bother me at all.
Not at all.
Didn't bother me at all. What bothered me more was just the sound. I wasn't crazy about the recording. It
was so overmodulated. I mean, so.
Well, it's like Tokyo Dome
so loud, and follow up to that. It's like Dave mixed it to me. There's so much Dave. And there's not enough
bands need to start doing is releasing the full raw tracks to everybody so they can mix their own.
Right? That's a great idea.
There needs to be more of that. I know, like the Guitar Hero stuff did that, but I would, for us, people for musicians. I mean, I do that all the time. I mean, I've got my equalizer. Every time I listen to a concert or something, constantly EQing it. I mean, just to
Paul, how would they do that? How is that possible? Could you like release tracks and offer them to people so that they can do their own mix? Like, what kind of format?
Some bands have done that. Aerosmith has done that. There was
Peter Gabriel was one of the first.
Joe Perry did it. Joe Perry on one of his solo albums.
But how would you offer it to people? Like, what device would they do it on? Like,
you would take a unique device.
No, you would take the tracks would be on a disc, almost like this thing here.
7/8. We'll talk later.
The backing tracks. All right. So what you do is you make a CD, and each quote unquote song is a track, and then you open it up in your wave editor, and you mix it yourself. You open it up in Audition. You put it in the multi-tracker. You know what I mean? You highlight it. You can compress it. You can put whatever effects on it. Bands have done that.
Peter Gabriel did that in the 90s. Peter Gabriel, I remember one of his, I think it was Not So, but one of the
well, they should do more of that.
The one right after that, you could mix your own version of it. You had to have it was probably a PC editor or something like that. On a PC, you could do it. But
I mean, I know that Joe Perry has it, and I know that Aerosmith did it. You make your own mix. Make your own mix on a record.
And I wish I'll
see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find the track. I'll find it. I'll show it to you.
Yeah. Master track. There's a lot you can find on YouTube of the master track.
Everybody, hide.
Don't tell him. We're gonna
hide.
What happened?
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Hey, guys.
Oh,
hey there, Ace. Ace. The Ace of Spades. Gonna do like the Lemmy microphone, see if I can do it. The Ace of Spades. It's the Lemmy microphone. I think he always had his mic like that.
Yeah, Tony, that happened because Eddie probably came up with Cathedral on the Fair Warning tour. And you'll see that with every band. They're jamming out songs on the prior tour that end up on the next record. That's just
what every band does.
That's normal.
Especially when they were like the road bands of Van Halen. I mean, they wrote Van Halen 2, Women, all of them.
Just like
the subsequent albums on tour.
316 was written during the 5150 tour because Valerie
probably before it.
Valerie had a miscarriage, but they had a baby coming, and Eddie was already playing To Her Belly that song, and
I didn't hear that story.
They had a miscarriage that year, but the song came back for when Wolfie actually was born in '91. So those kind of things happen all the time, and miscarriages, yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
I like talking about the old stuff, the unheard gems. The stuff the lesser known stuff. I like the I mean, like the wildlife stuff. That God, I wish we could have more of that. I mean, a whole album with all that. I mean,
that's my favorite.
Basically, he had. I mean, you can kind of bootleg the album, the wildlife stuff. But man, those are that's some of my favorite Eddie Van Halen stuff right there.
Josh Jones asks, is it true that Eddie had an abortion with his girlfriend before Van Halen from one of his high school hoes? Okay.
Well, there's Noel Monk. Monk wrote that in his book.
But that's not before Van Halen.
That was shortly before Valerie.
Yeah, and it's a funny story because Eddie was adamant that he'd only received head from the girl, but actually asked if it was possible to get
But
pregnant.
there was a whole kind of a lawsuit behind all of that, wasn't there? Like she was threatening to, and Noel Monk was the one who kind of squashed it all and got it under control.
Yeah, buried her somewhere in a field, probably.
So I have the Joe Perry solo record, this one here, that came out a few years ago. The dual disc version of it. On the back, you may or may not be able to read this, but on the bottom here,
put it closer.
I'm just trying to get it to
it says FBI. Look out.
I know, but there's right
Oh, that's tight.
there where the light is.
Basically,
Right
I can
there.
see. One of the special features, sort of.
It says, 2 you mix it tracks.
Oh, cool.
So you can open it up on a wave editor. This is a good look for me, I think.
Yeah.
You can open it up on a wave editor and get the tracks and do whatever you want to do. Do your own mix to it. So it's been done. It could probably still be done. Any band that records a live record.
Everybody's got a garage band or something that they could open it up. A wave, a multi-track editor on their PC or Mac or whatever. So
cool.
Any multi-track editor. You can rip any audio, any CDA. You can rip it. Any audio editing program will rip CDA, and then you can save it as any other of the formats if you need to. So, MP3s or waves are universal in every editor. So rip it as CDA, save whatever you want to do. I mean, hell, that's what those karaoke programs do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I want.
Rip it and then it mix minuses it.
I would love somebody to somehow re-record 5150 with real toms.
Yes, that's the only part of that
Jay
record
would
that
say
doesn't
that.
hold up is those Simmons drums.
Oh, it's such a sign. It's such a sign of the
Can you
time.
imagine though?
Nostalgic. I love that sound.
I would love to hear a real tom.
I got my
Doesn't hold up.
Elise's pad over here. Yeah, I should. You could do it. I mean, it could certainly be done, but I wouldn't replace those. I'd remix it. I mean, because that and OU 812, I'd love to have the Pro Tools session for that. I mean, it wasn't recorded on Pro Tools, but like
I'd love to get Sammy's voice out of it.
Multi-track sessions of that would be great.
Yeah, I'm not great.
Just get the music of that.
The mix on OU
Although,
is not a great mix.
I do have. Does anybody else have the mini best?
I used to have that. Yeah.
You know about this, right, Caleb? The mini best.
No.
I know.
This actually has all the tracks. It's got karaoke versions of Top of the World and Jump with no vocals on it at all.
Who put that out?
It's Warner Brothers. It's a Japanese thing.
It's from Japan. Yeah.
It's Japanese.
With no vocals.
Yeah. And we can't, I mean, obviously we can't play it.
Wow.
See how it says Top of the World Karaoke and Jump Karaoke?
And Jump Karaoke. And the cool thing about that Top of the World Karaoke is you hear like another guitar track in there that you don't hear in the regular mix. You hear there's something different, right?
That's the cool
do you remember
stuff.
that?
Johnny, you were talking about like some of the earlier stuff that had some of those, a keyboard track that was you could only get on a 12-inch single or whatever, like
some
of the real
secrets,
electronic drum version of Finish What You Started.
Yeah. Huh?
Some of that's that rare B-side stuff or Japanese release only and that kind of stuff was.
Are you talking about that Finish What You Started dance remix?
The dance mix, yeah.
Where did that come from, man?
I don't know, but
I
have
dance. I'm not talking about like the Jump or dance or was there? I know the Jump remix.
No, there's a dance version of Finish What You Started.
Yeah,
keyboards,
not from Warner Brothers, not from.
I think
I don't know.
I think
it might be. Yeah, they might have serviced it to pop radio at the time. It's got. I mean,
Discogs.
The drums sound like the snare drums sounds like something out of like a Boss Dr. Rhythm.
It sounds like a drum machine.
Usually, it's
it sounds like a drum machine.
It's a separate company that'll take like. Remember for Star Wars, they had the disco Star Wars. Like they would.
Yeah.
There's a separate company that would do a disco version of your song.
No, this was
or like
this was a Van
Muzak
Halen
or something
song.
like that. Interesting. I'm gonna have to
This
find
this was. It's possible that might have been used for that Valor Bertinelli show, Sydney, because Finish What You Started was the theme song for that show.
Oh wow!
Really?
If you see the actually, John, we'll put it.
Did they just do a pilot, or was it an actual series?
It was a series.
Really?
It was a series. The very beginning was that song. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's possible that was actually used for that.
Discord that. Sure.
I don't know.
Josh Jones wants in.
Come on in, Josh.
Come on in, Josh. And Jay's like, put him in my plate.
Yeah, Jay's never coming back.
Jay's breastfeeding right now.
Oh,
Those are for the baby.
Chase Press. Oh man.
By the way, Dakota Williams has been asking for about a half hour about setting up an internet radio station. You better have some money to get licensing.
Just you can see that.
You what?
Good. I'm glad you can see that. Yeah.
What about back in the days of like UHF with the
he's on Facebook.
Oh.
Remember you could have like a UHF channel, like a low broadcast TV channel.
Low power.
The whole UHF premise there. But that was a real. I mean, people did that. Or what would be
your next door neighbors can hear what
pump
you're
up the volume? Yeah, pump up the volume. Those kind of
ham radio. Ham radio was cool.
That was a 80s 90s thing. I mean, really, that's. I mean, nowadays it's all on the internet. But back that's what you had to do back in the day.
But you can't do any of that stuff now. You can't do a streaming radio station. You can't do any music programming without the proper licensing. And now, because the internet has become so good at picking up time signatures and algorithms.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you a great example. Anytime we go live from our studio, and we pay ASCAP and BMI fees, but anytime we go live from our studios, we have to turn the monitors down, because if you turn on the music and you can hear the music in the background that we're playing on the radio station I'm at, Facebook immediately, the algorithm gets picked up and the audio will get cut out. You'll just see us video talking. All of the audio will be cut out because you can hear the music bleeding through. Wow. And it'll say portions of the audio have been deleted based upon copyright claims.
Because Facebook doesn't know that you have the license.
Right. We have a license to do that. We have a license to stream online. We pay millions of dollars.
Like when I used to work at the club I used to work at, they'd have an ASCAP BMI license for bands that would come in and play covers or that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, every cover band,
just to be able to sell that music, basically, sell a ticket to that music.
Yeah, like whenever Nerd Halen plays a club, that club pays
there you go
the performance fee, the performance royalties to whomever owns the publishing rights, would it be Warner Chappelle or whatever that owns the performance rights, the publishing rights, the live performance rights.
A place like the Whiskey has their own license for that. Sure.
What kind are we talking about?
Yeah.
It depends how often you play the place, how many different cover bands play there. They're supposed to. Now, if they get audited, that's the thing is are you going to catch those people?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on who the band is. Like Gene Simmons, certainly with all the Kiss tribute bands, is certainly monitoring that and wants his piece.
Mm-hmm.
But whomever owns the publishing, any cover band, any tribute band that's playing whatever the music of whatever band it happens to be at the time, and I'm using Nerd Halen for the example, the venue is responsible for public performance royalties that are paid.
Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling, but I was always wondering,
the venue, just like their jukebox,
right?
They have to pay a royalty to have a jukebox in their event, in their bar, because it's you read every CD, it says this CD is for private personal use. Any public broadcasting, unlicensed public broadcasting is prohibited. That means playing music in a bar. You can't play their music in a bar without paying a certain fee. I'm sure every year when they do their books, their entertainment license is predicated upon a certain fee being paid to the publishing rights, whoever owns the publishing rights to whatever cover band was playing there that night.
Yeah,
and make no mistake about it, those publishers are auditing and saying, they're going to say, we want to see a calendar of who you had play for 6 months. You should know this, John.
I'm sure there's a blurry line between a bar band and a club, where the clubs, like I said, the club that I worked at, had national acts and occasionally there'd be a cover band that would come in and, you had, and they had a sticker right on the office window that said ASCAP BMI or whatever. They put it somewhere that said,
they have to pay.
They had to pay that stuff. So, I mean, there are certainly like the little bar bands that are playing on Saturday night, not
mm-hmm.
to, Ben Coombs or somebody who may be playing, to 50 people at the local bar, but they may not pay it. But I don't know. I don't know why I threw Ben in there, but but you know what I mean. I mean, it's like a national touring act, that might throw in a cover, has to pay for that.
My guess is, Caleb, it's fractions of a cent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like performance royalties on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
It's based upon how many times that song is played in your bar every year, which could be for example, you guys play whatever bar you're playing in, whatever town you're in, and you say to yourself, well, how come we only play there 3 times a year? Well, the reason why you only play there 3 times a year, even though you draw well and that your crowd has a good, because the only things a bar owner gives a shit about is the head count and the drop.
Yeah.
How many people come through the door and how much did they spend on the bar?
Yep.
But if the head count and the drop doesn't supersede the amount of money that it costs for them to have this cover band in a bar 3 or 4 times a year because of the amount of songs that you're playing, then they won't book you.
Exactly.
As weird as that sounds.
We got a question here from Dennis Bro. Anybody have any opinion on the EVH 5150 guitars? I got a Wolfgang special and it's excellent. Is the 5150 just as good or a little different?
Question.
Well, here's the main difference. The neck profile on the 5150 is going to be the neck profile on the actual 5150 replica they released last year, 2-3 years ago. So the necks are different from the Wolfgangs. A little fatter, a little rounder. Obviously, we're talking about a Strat shape, so that body's going to feel different from a Wolfgang, and but they're similar in the pickups. The pickups are the same, but they're obviously going to be a little different. But the feel from the guitar to guitar is definitely, it's noticeable from the 5150.
And there's been a couple different 51. There was the 5150 stripe replica, correct? And then
what they
new
did
5150 series, but they're all the same kind of body and neck profile, correct?
Oh,
are they not?
They're identical. Yeah.
They're exactly
Are they not
the
all
same.
Charvels? Aren't they made by Charvel in the Ensenada factory, but it's the Charvel side?
That's a question I can't answer. I think EVH has their own side down there, so.
I think the Stripe series with the Strat headstocks are Charvels.
Oh, you're talking about the art series?
Not the art series. I'm talking about
distancing.
the EVH Stripe series guitars.
Oh,
I believe are nothing more than painted Charvels with a different neck profile.
Could be
Mexican Charvels, but not,
Yeah, no, you're probably absolutely right.
I mean, they're probably a
same factory basically.
It's the same
a San Dimas,
right?
A San Dimas body with that same neck. I mean, the only difference is they're hand painted. What I loved was somebody was criticizing the Stripe series, saying, "My God, this paint job is so sloppy. You can see the seams on every stripe." I'm like,
right. That's because it's the way it is on the.
That's
on the
exactly
because it was hand painted layer by layer, which is a more time.
See the brush strokes.
You moron.
Yeah, people are crazy. But
Josh Jones says made in Mexico. Yeah,
I think the others. There's a follow up question from Ben, and it's for Caleb, so Caleb will probably answer it better.
Nerd Halen, how are the Japan made older Wolfgang specials versus the newer specials? The Japanese Wolfgangs are, let's say, if the USA Wolfgangs are here, then the Japanese Wolfgangs are right here, and then the Mexican Wolfgangs are
That's
probably
the sliding
here.
scale right there. Sure.
Okay. So, and the Chinese are right up here too.
The Indonesian, the Chinese.
The biggest reason are the necks on the Japanese guitars. They were made in the Jackson Japanese factory, and they use the vintage stainless steel frets on that neck, as opposed to the jumbo nickel that are used on the Mexican.
About that, yeah.
The Mexican ones. So you're gonna get a very similar feel, although there's a shape difference with the Japanese neck compared to the American EVH Wolfgang, but
they're all a little different.
They're all a little
Each
different.
one.
I happen to love the flat top on the Japanese special.
I had the Space Wolf has a Japanese neck on it and an American body, and I love that neck, and I really love the USA neck. So, like I said before, these two guitars they couldn't be more different, but they're very similar, but they feel a lot different, this one and this.
Bent, I would suggest you buy the Japanese Wolfgang if you can get one for a good price.
Yeah,
grab it.
Yeah,
grab
you can get a Japanese one for $800, $900.
Buy it all day.
That the thing I was most not crazy about with because I originally got a Japanese Wolfgang, and but I wanted to use the neck on I wanted an arch top. I didn't like the flat top body on the Japanese ones, so I like the arch top bodies better. So that's personal.
See, I like the flat top better. It's personal preference.
It is totally.
7/8 has a Japanese Wolfgang for sale.
There you go. Which neck is thicker? The Japanese neck is a little wider and flatter. I would,
and it's gonna feel beefier because of the frets too.
Yeah, but I would say the USA neck is a little rounder in the back and goes deeper into your palm than the Japanese neck. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Chinese
sounds good. 700. Sorry, I'm just looking at the.
It's your show. It's fine.
Yeah.
You wait for me, Johnny. Wait till I'm done talking. Sorry.
Yeah, Jay has a Japanese Wolfgang with a ebony fretboard, white, I believe.
Awesome. No, I was going to say the Chinese neck to me feels the smallest because I've got a Chinese neck on a Japanese body,
right?
And then I've got
of the specials. But
she sounds hot.
The standards
special, yeah,
the smallest neck, by the way, in my opinion.
The standards feel like a toy.
Yeah, the Wolfgang, especially the new ones, the Bake ones. I was feeling those neck. They're like toothpicks. They're tiny. Go ahead.
I have a standard neck on a Chinese body, and then I've got the David Ennis Mexico special,
the black special,
the black one. And then do I have another one? I don't know.
All
Can't
the
remember.
EVHs are nice. I mean, they're every price point.
Yeah,
it's quality. Good quality.
So the only thing I can't wait for the Frankie to come. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is going back to jumbos, because I've been a vintage guy for a while now. In fact, in the last 4 years, the only thing I've gotten that's not vintage is I put the next step up on the Bumble Nerd, just the next step up fret size.
So the new Frankie that's coming out, what neck profile is that? Because I know he's had several necks on that. Were they all kind of the same with the same fret, the same kind of
I'm going to say
and the same
it's the same neck profile as the other EVH Stripe series, but the neck is
which was like the Strat style neck. I mean, like the US Festival neck was different, and that was kind of a one-off neck, wasn't it? The US Festival
yeah,
neck.
that thing's like it was like
that was a Kramer.
It was a Kramer, and it's an R5, and it's just the widest.
And he only used it really for that short.
It's a very similar neck. It's a very similar neck to like those early '80s Charvels, with really wide fretboard.
But that was also like the fret style. I mean, the Strat style neck that. So he must have had pretty much the same radius and the same frets from the Strat style neck to the Beak neck to the.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's all personal.
I don't know either. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things
about. If you go to Dave Nesgolf, says there's 10 necks that have been on the Frankenstein. So
yeah. Look at this.
Interesting thing though is going back to those jumbo frets versus the vintage frets.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to feel like driving. It's going to feel like driving a V8 versus after driving a finely tuned European sports car. It's still going to get you there, but it's just going to feel a little more effort. But when you dig into it, I think you'll like the response.
No, it'll be good to have something different. My Chemstrat guitar has jumbo frets on it, so I still have one guitar that has jumbos on it. But I actually even asked like at Fender, like, can I pick my fret size? And no. So,
Well, and it's a good question because maybe if they have that option for the newer
well, they don't even have
model.
They don't even have vintage stainless in Mexico, much less available. So
Will you take it and have it refretted from somebody?
if it's really bothering me, I will, because it's going to be my number one in the band. So, I'm going to do whatever I can to soup the thing up to my likings. So,
Does it come with a German Floyd?
no, it comes
Oh,
with a Korean EVH.
There's step one.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'll definitely FU tone the thing.
So. Let's wait till he gets it first. Play it for a little while, see how you like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
6105.
See how you like it. He's gonna like it.
I was thinking 6150.
I'm hoping. There's been some stories. And I'm not gonna go into them because I'm like kind of with the company, so I don't want to. But I mean, there's been guitars that come from Mexico that you're like, this needs work. So
sometimes you get lucky, and for the most part, yeah. I mean, like the Mexican EVHs that have come out, a lot of people most people have liked them. So haven't had any issues with them.
I love my Stripe series.
With the
I've liked every one I've had.
The Mexican ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play fantastic. I feel bad about selling the circles, but I didn't need it.
Yeah.
And I got a good price for it, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, I'll have that one day. That's if I have to make it or whatever. But I definitely want one of those someday.
Yeah, it played well, but it didn't play appreciably better than the other, red, white, and black one. And
now you have the 3 arts and.
Yeah, I don't need anything.
It really
started releasing all the Stripe stuff. The circles was like kind of the sought after one.
It doesn't get much
guys
better.
That were making the replicas that like you saw the Unchained video, and it was like that's the one, the really unique EVH kind of guitar that only if you're in the know, that's one of Ed's guitars. Everyone knows the Frankie. The 5150.
Yeah, it was only in one video.
Cool, yeah.
Only ever pictured in one little video from 1981.
If you want to get deeper, you get into like the Root or the
people like to dump on the arts. The arts are fantastic guitars.
No, I don't know who those people are.
They're people who've never played one and just saw the price tag and went.
Yeah, the Art Series neck alone.
Well, those were the $10,000 Charvels, right? That's what we're talking about.
They were about $3,000 when they came out.
$3,000. No,
yeah.
Well, nowadays you can't get them for under 10, right? I mean,
no, you can.
No, you could get them for about the same price. They're still around. You can still get them for about $2,000 to $3,000.
Like the autographed ones, the ones that.
No, not those. No, not the hand painted ones.
Were the
no,
painted, yeah.
No, John,
not the stage used ones. No,
John, he released his three.
So many. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different.
I'm telling you, he released 3 patterns when he first went with Fender. When he left Peavey, okay, his announcement that he was leaving Peavey was, "I'm gonna be with Fender. They're making my amps, and we're gonna start with these Art Series guitars through Charvel, which is the umbrella of Fender."
Mm-hmm.
And those guitars, the 3 colors, were fantastic. I had a red one. The neck on that guitar, in my humble opinion, might be the best of neck on any of the EVH guitars ever released. It's my opinion, but the necks are fantastic, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And the pickup, by the way, the pickup is a secret Seymour Duncan pickup that Seymour designed with Eddie for that guitar specifically, and then Fender took the pickup and made it themselves. And that's why Seymour turned around and released a pickup in his custom shop called the IM1, which is a motherfucker of a pickup. I have it in one of my guitars. Check if you get looking for a pickup to put in a guitar that is very Van Halen sounding, but not as crazy as the Frankenstein pickup. because the Frankenstein is like the loudest, you know, hottest pickup probably ever released through a Van Halen guitar.
Mm-hmm.
The IM1 is a secret that people need to know. They know about the 78 that Duncan makes, but that's the lower output one. The higher output one is called the IM1, and I recommend you check it out.
I'm not as familiar. So we're talking about Charvel under Fender Charvel, and this was
called the
shortly after
Charvel
the
Art Series.
right. And now I'm thinking of the ones that were released. You know, he played, I guess, on the 04, 07 tour.
Okay, here's what it is.
They're production models.
Those necks on that guitar are the same as the Art Series that were released in the three main,
Okay.
You know, black and white, the black and yellow, and the red, white, and black.
Right.
He put the necks on, the Charvel necks on those guitars. He also painted himself about 300 bodies. Okay. Himself.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then those guitars were played on stage, two songs a night in 04 and in 07, 08, and even in 2012. And they were put up on eBay auction by Matt Bruck right after the gig every night. And that's how that was going. But the necks on those guitars are the same as the Art Series that you could get.
So, like the Steve Anderson's yellow and black.
Yes.
Is one of the
what
we're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just kind of getting the chronology of because I mean, there's been
go get one, Paul.
Company.
Go get one.
Yeah, you can tell. I'll go grab one of mine. You can tell. Here's the thing: you can tell the difference though between the Charvel Art Series production models and the ones that Eddie and Matt Bruck auctioned off online, because the ones they auctioned off online don't look like any Eddie Van Halen guitar.
Right.
The paint scheme on them
they're unique.
is not
They're
the
all
black and white. They're
all
all unique. They're one-offs.
Yeah.
Some of them have actually the city that they played in.
On eBay for $10,000.
Yeah, those are for like 10. I'll go grab one of mine. Which one do you want, Caleb? Which one do you want to say?
Get the black and white one.
It's funny you say that because you and I both know this. I don't like the black and white one. I didn't like the black and white one in the Stripe series until I got the Art Series one. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'll go grab it. Hang on.
So this is Fender's Charvel version, and now we've got obviously the EVH 5150 78 that came out 2 or 3 years ago, which is kind of another. This is the EVH version. We're talking about the Charvel version. I'm just trying to get it wrapped my head around all the different. I know of the different versions, but I'm just trying to get.
He made Stripe guitars originally. First time he ever made Stripe guitars was with Charvel in the Art Series. Then, after he established his own company, after a few years, they came out with a Mexican version of the stripes of those three colors too, and then later added the circles, and then the star, and then
under the EVH brand name,
the 5150. Yeah,
it was also, and then the Fender Frankenstein was in there too as well, kind of a one-off. That was the Fender.
Yeah, and that one's not even connected to anything because it has a 21 fret neck.
Yeah,
and it's the true replica of the actual Frankie in its current state.
And it's just trying to get, just trying to sort out all the different.
No, it's cool. And it's not a lot, but there is definitely a confusion.
Well, and there was a long time. I mean, and you were talking about when we all kind of started getting into the late '80s, the early '90s, when everybody wanted a Van Halen guitar, and then finally, when he does release it, it's the Music Man, which was a great guitar. Everyone, probably some of our favorite, player guitars.
Yeah, that's Paul.
So then in the 2000s, the early 2000s, you start getting Paul's got the. I'm kind of just talking myself through these, kind of remembering, because I know I was around when they came out, and it was like I was reading all the guitar magazines and everything in the late 90s, early 2000s when these were coming out. They were sought after, and I always wanted one, but then. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about that guitar that he's holding is that's the true beginning of all of our lives.
Getting that, yeah.
And that guitar is the first one we saw, and it created, it's the first hot rodded custom guitar. It really is. Everything else was off a rack, a shelf. Very few guys worked on their own guitars. Eddie Van Halen with that guitar changed the entire game.
It's so much nicer in person too.
The humbucker into the Strat style. I mean, who did it before Ed? I mean, I guess there was a couple, but I mean, Robbie Robertson did it. I think was one of the
other
guys.
On further review, that was 2 single coils together.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And I remember seeing that and going, wait a minute. 2 singles together.
Josh Jones is asking about why it says Charvel on it. Josh, look at the headstock there. Charvel made them, and then
Josh, that's kind of why I'm confused a little bit too.
See the EVH Art Series sticker on the headstock.
Yeah, they came out when you were 7 years old, Josh.
Yeah,
so
these things were before EVH guitars were an actual brand.
It was right when he signed with Fender. And
this is where like kind of Johnny and Caleb and Paul are a little bit ahead of me. I don't know the whole
here's
EVH
the thing:
chronology.
People are faking these now to try and make the money off them. Each one of these, they don't come with a backplate, by the way. And see that hologram?
Yeah.
You can't fake that hologram.
And it's got a serial number on it.
Yep.
But you got to get the guitar. You got to get the FU tone block though.
We're not doing anything to this guitar.
Yeah, he'll want to resell it.
No, I'm not doing anything to this guitar. This took me forever to get all 3 of them.
Well, Josh asks the real question: what is the real pickup that was in Ed's Frankie?
It came out of an ES335, I believe. It was a PAF.
He had a few different ones. Even through the '78 tour, I think he put in he changed the pickups a couple times.
Yes.
But I think the original came out of a 335, and it was wax potted.
Mm-hmm.
That 335 right there. Well, you can't really see it, but from the famous photo, the axe photo.
Now, the only thing that I on the one hand, I like it, but I don't like it. The only thing that makes this inaccurate is it's got a Floyd on it and the D-Tuna, which the original did not have. Obviously, the original had a regular Fender.
Mm-hmm. And the pickup's not slanted.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
That's it, though.
But these were the original. This was when Eddie left PV and said, "Hey, I've got a new deal." It was weird though because I thought he was going to stick with Charvel, and then all of a sudden he got his own brand.
Yeah, well, I think he wanted his own brand, but they were far away from that, and they didn't have any part of a factory set up for his brand. So they said, "You want to get these guitars out soon? We're going to have to make them through one of our companies."
Now, I don't know how many of these were made.
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, like 3,000, I believe.
Total? 1,000 of each?
I don't know the each count, but somewhere around that, yeah.
Well, they play. I mean, the neck is
sick.
Yeah. No,
and what I didn't even notice for years was that it's not a hole through nut to the back. It's a screwed in from the front nut on that guitar.
Oh yeah.
In the next generation, Charvel's kind of a impression of what Ed wanted, and that he liked for a little while, and shortly after, kind of.
Well, this is number 861.
861.
So, and the hologram on the back matches it, and that's what you want. The hologram on the back has the serial number, and then the neck plate has the piece number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. Those are great guitars.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like them until I got them, and then I was like, oh yeah. And anybody that tells you they can't tell the difference between these and the Mexican stripe is lying to you.
Completely.
Yeah, they're different guitars.
Yes.
And I never and here's the thing, I can't play them. That's the
Sorry, I'm with you, Paul.
No, I'm one of those.
Look, and I can't play as well.
I think I've told Caleb this before. I play my shit guitars until I get good enough. Like, this is the reward. I can't play this until I deserve to play
There you go.
this.
Yeah.
It's very zen. It's like when you take a martial art, they don't allow you to spar until you get to a certain point. Until you deserve this guitar, don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it.
I think a lot of people will say that. Yeah.
You hear the sustain. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So, yeah.
No,
Don't.
I had a red one and I dumped it, and I feel I've dumped 3 guitars in my life that I just have the biggest regret. And obviously my Amber Music Man. I can't believe I did that.
I got one of those.
I know you do, and so does John. I know everyone who has one. And the other one is that red art series. I miss that a lot. And one of my reasons was, what am I going to do with the striped guitar? I'm never going to be like in a Van Halen band.
Maybe if I was in a cover band, Van Halen cover band someday.
And that was only like 3.5 years ago.
Oh.
I love the people that are like, why would you play one of those guitars, man? You don't want everybody to think you're an Eddie fan. I don't care what you think.
I don't care what you think either.
I don't care what you think. It sounds awesome. It plays awesome. It looks awesome. It is awesome. So,
and the other one is a pewter Clapton Strat, that I had, that I dumped too. Such a great guitar. Those are great guitars. The Clapton Strats are the necks on those guitars. Vintage frets, by the way. They have an onboard preamp in that guitar. Very good guitar. The Clapton Stratocaster is still available too. So I might when I get a chance get one of those. So.
Might have to get another one of those.
Yeah. I have the American Original 50s Strat. Caleb, you should try that. Because it's got the wider, flatter neck.
The dream is to just get them all back, and I told myself when I got rid of them that I would someday get them back. Not the actual ones, but I would get my Amber, one, and I'd get the so we'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing. I let go a Dean Cadillac that I regret letting go, that I liked.
I'm still looking for my old Kramer Focus. I know it's still in the within probably 50 miles of me, because the last place it was sold 15 years ago was nearby. One of the guitars.
Look, if Frampton can get that Black Beauty back, anybody can get a guitar back.
That story is really, if you haven't heard that story, that's pretty. The Frampton story is really, that's a, if you've lost hope for finding a lost guitar, just read that Frampton story, and he found one that he had been searching for years, and had been through a fire and all that.
Well, and then there's the Jerry Cantrell story about his Ernie Ball that went missing, the gold top, and then 25 years later it was found by Tom Brino.
Well, when you're famous like that, and you can kind of cast a wide net for
sure.
If you've seen this guitar
and the internet, so
but
Fender.
There's guys like
Fender Grew asked, "What guitar will EVH give you, Caleb?" The Frankie is coming to me. Fender Guru. So
hey, Fender Guru, good to see you.
Now that deal, Caleb, it's a one guitar deal, and then does that renew? Is it like a 1-year contract deal?
I don't know. I haven't discussed the future.
You're just thankful to get the one.
I just know that just coming aboard,
He's
that
holding his breath. He's waiting for it.
I was offered any Stripe Series guitar for free, and then artist pricing on everything else. And also a cool part of the deal is I get to, there's a lockout they have that EVH has in Van Nuys here in the Valley, and I get to go borrow cabinets, dummy cabinets for my gigs.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Photo shoots. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool. So I don't have
the wall of EVH.
I don't have to invest in a wall of cabinets and then invest in a place to stow them. So
when you come to Phoenix, you should go over to the EVH offices.
Yeah. For
They're
sure.
over in Scottsdale. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good deal when you can get a free guitar for anything. It's funny, that was one of the jokes about, I think it was Eric Clapton who made the joke. He said, you work all this time to achieve a level of notoriety so that you're paid well enough so that you can afford that guitar that you've always wanted, and they give them to you for free.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, a great example like is Thomas McRockland, with that certain guitar company.
Yeah.
But he has like over 10 guitars of theirs now, and they just keep coming, and those guitars aren't cheap. And,
those guitars aren't good.
but he's it seems like every few weeks he has a new one, and I don't think he's paying for them.
What is Thomas even putting out music these days?
Yeah, he has a band, a thing called McRockland and Hutch, and and he also he just started his own.
Starsky and Hutch?
He started his own school too. He's amazing. You watch a guy like that.
Well, yeah.
I still love that Bad for Good record. I do.
You can't even. Yeah, I know Metal Mike. There are Art Series guitars right there on Reverb right now. But guess who doesn't have $2,000 to blow on that? This guy. So
the difference between a man who's responsible, who has a family,
and
a divorcee who has 2 dogs.
2 dogs, and, a guitar fetish. So
yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah,
there's no need of it. It really isn't. It's like, and I'll tell you the truth. Think somebody's compensating? I acquired most of my guitar collection since my divorce 3 years ago.
Because there's no one saying what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's no restrictions.
No governor.
There's no governor.
Yeah.
Shit.
Unleashed.
There's no governor.
I don't have. I live debt free, and I don't have any vices other than the occasional bottle of Jim Beam Apple. So, and although now because of all the bullshit with the coronavirus, I've lost a lot of money in advertising and stuff like that. Everybody's taken a hit.
Yeah.
I know that anybody in the service industry is dealing with it as well. So I'm thankful that I was able to pick them up when I could, and now when I need to make rent, I've got some stable income that I can get rid of. Yeah.
Hey, Connor Johnson was the original Bumblebee guitar, a gloss finish. Does anyone know? Yes, it was.
Caleb's the man. Go grab your Bumblebee.
In fact, I think it had too much gloss, and I think it's one of the reasons Eddie didn't like it was because the tone on it. He couldn't get a good tone on it. That's why he had several pickups go through that guitar.
Yeah, he fought with that for a long time.
Never crazy about that guitar.
Yeah.
But in my humble opinion, that is the coolest guitar.
Oh, he's gone on record as saying he fought with the sound of that guitar for a long time. But it is it's our. I mean,
I believe
Darrell Abbott. It's
to the eye. That guitar is the most.
It's got the blood on the 20 or the 15th fret.
The
blood stain.
There's just something about
the Art Series doesn't have the white coil though.
No.
Which fret is that? I can't even.
10th.
10th. You gotta have that blood stain on the 10th fret, or it's not authentic. Caleb, do you have your?
They say that it might be actually paint from the Frankie.
It's not blood. It's not blood.
The rumor is that
it's not blood.
It was near the paint job for the Frankie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool if that was. You could tie the two together. Like that.
Yeah, at Summer NAMM, was it last year or the year before?
Last summer.
When they released that. They were telling the story about how that happened.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's not blood. I never.
Yeah, and that guitar is buried with dime. Yes. But yeah, gloss finish for sure on those guitars. In fact, there were like 6 made at once.
That's right. Yeah, it wasn't the only one.
It's yeah.
Do you think Eddie regrets making that decision to give that guitar up to put it in that coffin?
No.
Given his state of mind at the time?
Well,
He wasn't exactly making the best decisions in his life.
The only thing I could think is that someone standing there in front of him going, "Dad, why?" You know, that
I know what you're saying, Paul. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And the question remains, because Dime is in a crypt. That guitar is retrievable.
Oh, don't say that.
What?
You can't do that.
What?
You're right. You're absolutely. You're right.
You can, and you don't tell anybody, but you can.
Oh, no.
Just bring one of the Mexican Stripe series in
and replace it.
Yeah.
It's grave robbing, but it's you know. I'm not saying I advocate it. I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating it, but you and I both know that.
Yeah, don't put it on
reverb. I mean, you're right.
Don't put it on reverb.
Right.
Don't what?
I said don't put it on reverb. That's all.
Yeah.
I had a morbid idea of actually, but I didn't know he was in a
Tell
crypt.
us about it, please.
I thought it was buried with him. So, what would the bumblebee look like now?
Yes, and as you were saying, I was thinking the same thing.
What would it look like?
Oh, like the zombie bee,
right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Well,
all right.
Wait, say that again. What do you mean? Like, over the past 20 years or 15 years buried with Daryl?
Yeah, if it's decrepit under the ground.
The strings have probably rusted and broken. The neck is probably warped. It's probably, mixed in with a little bit of Daryl.
Mixed in with Daryl dust.
Oh, it's mixed in with Daryl. So, in another 100 years, it's going to be Daryl and Eddie mixed together for life. I mean, for death, for whatever the fuck. Anyway.
Oh, not Halloween.
Hey, look this up, Johnny. Did you see that Hubbard put up that white with black stripe?
Yeah, I've got it right here. Yeah,
the sister body to the Kramer double neck.
That's something.
The same delivery. He got a pacer. And we've seen it on the wall. We've seen it on the wall in the studio, hanging in the truck. But him playing it live came out. Just saw it the other day for the first time. That guitar.
Mm-hmm. Wow! Now
it actually has a VH on it, just like the double neck in the stripes right below his hand. VH.
I have not seen this before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So rad.
So this was like 82?
That's on the Diver Down tour, yeah. I'm convinced it probably came with the same delivery when he got.
Sure, that's not like a Photoshop. I don't know, man.
No, because there's
doesn't look like the paint wraps around at all. It looks like it's just on the top.
It doesn't.
And he usually wrapped it around, didn't he?
He didn't do it.
Oh,
he didn't do it. The guys at Kramer did it, and
look how coked out his eyes are.
The white, the white is only just right when it starts to.
But you're right. It's very similar to the double neck. It's got that.
It's the same.
This is the other one that's the other mysterious one that we still haven't figured out.
No, we figured that one out. We just haven't talked about it. Yeah. That guitar, it's called the Cat.
Well,
there's this dude who makes
it was kind of a gift, right?
Cat guitars, and that's one of them.
And it was kind of a gift for Ed, and he probably played it one night, right? And it even says what night it was. It says what night that photo was taken on.
No, what happened was he got the double neck made, right?
Baton Rouge, 81.
The yellow double neck he had made from Kramer. And then I'm assuming that when that guitar was delivered to him, they already had this one too. And they came together. And
probably there was two double necks. There was a yellow one and a red one.
Right.
Yeah, that yellow one's the one that has the aluminum.
Yes.
The old aluminum neck. Which never stay in tune. They're beautiful, but they don't stay in tune because once you get them under hot lights, that aluminum heats up and you're screwed. Or if you have them out in the cold, or if there's any humidity.
Ask Bill Wyman.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool guitars, but you can't keep them in tune more than shit.
And if you hear Cathedral at the US Festival, you can hear it's out of tune.
Yeah, I had a Kramer Duke that had the aluminum neck, a Duke bass that had the aluminum neck, and it was just a pain in the ass. Couldn't keep it in tune worth the shit.
Question, Bent Rossum, Nerd Halen, when will your replica of this guitar be finished? I'm not making a replica of that guitar.
Which one? The double neck?
The white and
What
black.
happened?
But I guarantee you Chris Hubbard is making one.
He's made all of them. Well, and here's the earlier double neck, the double neck.
Jubber neck.
Double neck.
Well, here's the. Yeah,
Oh, there's the other one.
Oh, is that the red one? Oh.
That's
Is there any pictures of him playing the
I don't know why it's
backup
messed up.
double neck?
No, I've never seen him play it, but there are pictures of it.
But there's also
at
this
the
one.
studio.
The SG, he played the SG for. I mean, not the SG, the 1275.
Yeah,
He played that because he wrote the song on that guitar, and then he took it out on the road, and then Kramer made him the Kramer yellow one to replace it.
Made this one.
yeah, and John Biel. Yeah, if you've seen these pictures,
Oh, sure.
From-
Yeah.
from 50
Yeah, it's on the
From
wall.
this 5150, right?
that's it right there.
Yep. And there's the VH.
Yeah, because exactly the yellow, the double neck had that VH on it.
There it is too. And there's the Bumblebee just sitting there on the wall.
So I'm sure Hubbard's probably Hubbard's probably already made that, correct?
He's making it.
If he hasn't,
I wrote him in those comments section. You can see I said, there's your next build.
Who was it that was it Hubbard that made the Yamaha like the day that Johnny showed it?
Oh, maybe. But
The Yamaha taped.
Here's the tell. He likes everybody's compliment or comment, but he loves mine, and that's the tell he's making it.
There are some people who just can't help themselves. He has to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta dance. I gotta make this guitar.
Well, he's got to be the first one to make it.
So he's the man. Hubbard is.
Yeah,
man.
he's incredible.
Back when I first found this channel, Hubbard was, showing his, him and Nesdal were the replica guys.
I'll tell you though, that's a guitar I really like. I mean, I like the black all around.
The thin lines on it. It's almost like your Vapor Trails kind of.
I like the thinner back.
Line.
I think that's a really cool look, and just the stripe and the white and with the stripes on top.
Mm-hmm.
Weird guitars didn't exist before Eddie. People did.
Well, Cheap Trick.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah. There
Who's the guy that played the Bigsby? The
Rick
Bigsby.
Nielsen.
Yeah.
No,
but Rick Nielsen from
Merle
Cheap Trick
Travis.
did that weird-
Was it Merle Travis? I think
But you could say that Rick Nielsen kind of exploded after Eddie
this one right here.
did his because
That's
it's
an early Frankenstein.
knowledge. When did Rick get crazy?
Yeah.
Was it pre-78 or was it just right after 78?
It was probably Dream Police,
Oh, Nielsen. Yeah.
That's 77.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Interesting. Right.
He certainly. I mean, when he went with the quintuple neck guitar,
Yeah.
Here we go.
that was a little on the excessive side,
I
but
like
awesome.
the double neck with his shoes as the.
With his
I got
shoe,
to- I
yeah,
got
it's
to
his
play that
body. The whole
guitar.
thing is his body.
Yeah, it's great.
I got to hold and play the 5 neck. Hold on, I got it right here.
It was at NAMM 2 years ago, I believe, right, Johnny? His triple.
The hammer.
Yeah, the hammer.
It might have been. I didn't see it, but
There's that one, and then there's the Uncle. He called it Uncle.
Oh,
This one.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You can't really
Love
see
that
it.
one.
That Play It Loud, the Play It Loud exhibit. I saw it there.
oh, okay.
That's cool.
Uncle Dick, I think it was called Uncle Dick. Uncle Dick.
Play it loud.
Yes. Back when you could go to New York.
Back when you could go outside.
Yeah.
Socialize. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've been a germaphobe for 20 years already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking now, I don't know how I can go back to.
Damn, without a hazmat suit.
I'm wondering if Mancuda and I actually had this back then, because we both got really sick.
Yeah.
And it lingered. I had it for like a month where I kind of got better, but not really for a month after.
There's a lot of people with the same story, but
I got sick in December.
And it was
real
in
bad.
here. It was a certain feeling in the chest I had for a month.
yeah. Something tells me that's
Probably the same
wishful thinking. So
Well, I think it's a matter of time. Just like, I don't get the flu every year, but I did get the flu. I think it's a matter of time before we all get some version of this, and hopefully it passes quickly. It's not a digestive issue, so stop buying toilet paper.
yeah. What's funny? My dad got me. He got me 2 bidets for the 2 bathrooms in my
Oh, look at you.
in my apartment here, but he got them for like 8 years ago.
But don't.
And they've been sitting in an Amazon box for 8 years.
Jeez.
I never installed them, and now
Until
they're both operational.
first time I used a bidet was in Tortola, British Virgin Islands.
Mhm.
Pronounced tortilla.
I've never, it's not. But when I went down there, I'd never seen one before in person. So, you see the toilet, and then next to it, I'm like, what's this second toilet? And the guy goes, oh, that's a bidet. I go, oh, what? He goes, try it. Just push this button. I'm like, okay. Whoa, hey!
Stop that.
Hey,
Don't do that.
yeah, no, it's a cool little contraption they make now where you can just add it on. So
Yeah, there's a cool little contraption too. It's a little nozzle on the back of your toilet that you can put like one of those shower massager things on.
mm-hmm.
If you're in, you're in. Must be midnight. The dogs are acting up again.
Yeah,
It's midnight 04.
I'm
They
good.
know.
How many thumbs ups do we have?
Good question.
How do I know?
I only see 13,
I
and
see
that
14.
can't be right.
I'm only seeing 14. That's crazy.
13, I see.
Is that true?
16.
People are
There, I
watching.
made it 14.
Okay, so this is a bad show. I mean, what can we say? This is not a good show.
We were up to 96 people at one point.
18, it's going up. I
17.
mean, wow.
Nobody's left one.
Nobody's thumbed up all night. So
Keep
all right.
going,
We
you guys.
We only have Uno, so that's good. But hit
I
those
just gave
thumbs up.
Yeah, but that thumb down came before we even signed on. They knew the show was going to suck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
we know who that is. So.
That's
Yeah, it was from
usually
Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Or Florida.
goodness.
I don't
Either
know.
Canada
These
or
days,
Florida.
it's piling up, man.
Florida is just the Canada of the South, Caleb.
Jeez.
Oh,
Well,
Son, I have no idea what you're talking about.
smash that damn like button.
Yeah, that's crazy. Having only that many with.
they're just too enthralled with the
And we've
content.
had a lot of viewers tonight too. I mean, it's been
Good call.
70, at least 70 steady.
Well, once we're done, I'll get an email and it'll tell me exactly how many we had, like
Exactly
what we
what
stuck at, and then how many like the top. And we were.
The show was cooking until Jay
We were
left.
pushing 100 for a little
I'm
while.
thinking we might have hit 100 at one point. Or that might have been, was that earlier today? Because I was live for 3.5 hours earlier with
earlier in the show.
Rob.
We were close to 100.
I'm thinking we were at either 96 or 100 at one point.
Give or take 4.
And how many Pepsis is that, Paul?
3.
3 Pepsis.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's a 3 Pepsi night.
3 Pepsi night.
I'm just.
It's
on
not that bad,
water.
though. I mean, 3 Pepsis is 36 ounces. So it's
There
like
you
one fountain Pepsi
Mhm.
in 3 hours. That's 1 an hour. I'm not drunk.
But you're not going to fall asleep anytime soon.
That's not true, actually. When you're a caffeine addict, it doesn't keep you awake.
Caffeine, yeah, I know. Caffeine can have the opposite effect sometimes.
Mhm.
Well,
Yes.
I do have a 4th just in case I need it.
Rosem.
This is a first, by the way. Paul's staying with us the whole night here.
Well, the dogs haven't
307 here.
the dogs haven't puked or shit anywhere. So it's the weirdest thing about that is it's they're on a routine. You guys know at midnight usually they start acting up. He's doing pretty good right now. Because he ran it off earlier.
Yeah, he had his episode earlier. So
yeah, he ran it off earlier. And Lemmy came in and whined a little bit, and I just ignored her, so she went away. But they need to go out. They know it.
And thank you, Bent, for the comment.
yes, thank you.
Thank you, Bent.
Fun.
Bent.
I look forward to getting on with the guys every few weeks, and I'm glad we're here.
0 calories, Bent. He asked how many calories in these Pepsis. That's why it's called Pepsi Zero.
But we were talking about that earlier. What's the difference between diet drinks?
That's
and
how we started.
Zero drinks, or was that? Or did we actually say
circle.
that? All right, so we're good to go.
The last 2 or 3 shows have been
I
like
still
that.
don't understand that.
The interesting thing about it, though, is you still put on like 3 or 4 pounds because of the liquid.
I've definitely put on a few pounds over this.
So you when you drink a bunch of the stuff, you're like, how the hell did I put on weight? And you realize, well, the liquid does have weight to it. Until you piss it out, you're like, I'm supposed to be losing weight. This is supposed to be a diet. Oh yeah,
Pepsi Zero is more dangerous to consume.
that's what everybody says.
That's what Krusty Panda says.
I know because it's
Listen
got
to
aspartame.
Krusty
My
Panda.
choices are diabetes or cancer.
Oh man, or Corona.
Pick your poison.
Look, again, I'm on bonus time. Men in my family live to be about 75, so I got about 23 years left. I'm not going to get on my deathbed and go, geez, I wish I had a Pepsi.
I wish I had a Pepsi. Oh goodness. Well,
Wow.
On that note,
stay healthy, everyone, and
yeah,
thank you for joining us for Straturday night. And Johnny, keep posting, keep going live.
Johnny will be live for another show for 4 hours after this one ends.
Well, I got to go back and watch the Rob Johnson 3.5 hours.
Oh,
It'll be
that was a great one actually.
That's what
Late night
I'm
with
going to
David
do after
Mescal.
this.
Rob and I had a great show earlier today, and I think now is the time to do all that stuff. And the thing is, everybody's doing it. So
it's the only thing that we can do. Go live,
Yeah.
go on the air. It's the only thing you can do now.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, everybody's doing it, but
Stay home.
like with anything, it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to be able to do it. 3-hour shows are, to hang for 3 hours is tough.
And,
to keep
we
people
make it
interested.
look
We've been doing it for years.
not with these guys. With these guys, it's fun.
Excuse me.
Straturday night is past its first anniversary. It's been well over a year for Straturday night.
Has it?
And I don't think
started
we've
January of 19.
I don't think we've done a Straturday night where I've pulled out a Strat at all, except for the GNL. That one night I pulled the GNL out.
Oh yeah, I took my Strat apart months ago. It's
Oh,
still not
man.
back together. We'll get that striped up soon. Now that I got time.
right.
Cool. Well, everybody, leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get 100 thumbs ups by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
Yeah.
And again, this is a podcast, so check it out. Links down below. And well, John, this is your show.
Well, thanks everyone.
Love you, Josh.
Thanks again, guys. Thank you, Johnny, Caleb, Paul, Ace, Lemmy.
Yeah, you hear she's starting up.
Jay Hannon. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight, and we'll try and keep it up, and we'll be with you when you're lonely and looking for something to do, and Johnny Beane will be with you. And don't
Not
forget
lonely
Ace.
and horny though.
Yeah. No, I didn't say horny.
Well,
That's up to Johnny's discretion. So. All right, folks.
Beane
Have a
after
great
dark.
one. Have a great one.